are gone! Xeno's gone as well!
Just no more army, no more owls. He only has 3 scrolls.
Steamroller.
So he has got the counter points now. Let's see how this goes.
See if he can get. There goes it!
Oh, he took it out!
Classic Metal counter snipes it.
See them two now they're getting mowed down here. They're even walking through the gas. It's too late. Deadbones has the superior numbers at this moment. He's gonna mow down Xeno's wards. GG! Deadbones is your champion for.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, to the finals of the second week of our January campaign for Clash of Comrades. I'm Lacante. I'm joined today by Valently. Valently, how's it going?
Going pretty well. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, behind the scenes we have AV Ultima running the stream. We have some minor difficulties setting everything up, but we should be fine. Captain Fog unfortunately locked himself out of the house, so he may join us later. Best Team Maker is on vacation, but we have most of these stream assets, so we'll see how it goes. Now, let's hop into the brackets. These tournaments are obviously rather short, but unfortunately we had 2 players drop out, and after the matches being played yesterday, we're left with a total of 4 players, unsurprisingly. Deadbones and Xeno Coop in the semi-finals coming up, and maybe more interesting in the lower brackets, we have CJ Ross and Chip from Space, which will be our first match. What'd you think about this lower bracket matchup?
Chris is definitely a very talented player. He's shown multiple times that he has a good grasp of the game, but Chip is a new player who's just rose the ranks very fast and has a lot of innate skill and instinct. And it's been about a month now he's been playing, so let's see how well he's learned to grasp what's going on.
For me, he completely flew under the radar, and I was really surprised to see him take the series against Classic Metal. And I went and watched the replays, and no, he beat Classic Metal fair and square. So he did lose to CJ Ross 2-0 in an earlier match, but we'll see if he can bring it back and get himself a spot in the lower bracket finals.
So both of the first 2 matches today will be salty run backs from previous performances.
Yes, pretty much. There's definitely some history already going on. All right, let's see.
I think we're just waiting for everyone to join.
Yep. We have everyone in the lobby. We're just waiting for CJ Ross to ready up, and then we can go. So it's going to be a best of 5, or the next match, the semifinals, will also be a best of 5, and then finally the lower bracket final is going to be the 3rd best of 5, and then we end with a best of 7 on the grand finals. So we have quite a few games for you today. Just waiting for CJ Ross to ready up, and here we go. Let's get ready for our first game of the night. I'm expecting to see Toads from both players and a fair amount of Tier 1.
Well, Chip knows what he wants and is actually taking Boar, which I haven't seen the previous matches, but I know amongst the community that has been said that this is an less powerful Tier 3. So
it was very successful in his games against Classic Metal. I watched those replays, and the Boar won him 2 games very convincingly. So we'll see if he can repeat that performance. But without further ado, we have a game going on right now. In the north, we have in Sanitarium, CJ Ross or Chris, call him as you wish. And in the south, in green, we have Chip from Space. What do you think about the map, Valently?
It looks like, as far as maps go, this looks like a pretty even map. I'd give a slight edge to in Sanitarium. However, it's not much.
Yeah, I would agree. He definitely has slightly easier access to expansions, but Chip from Space can expand forward and then just secure territory that way. We didn't really talk about Insanitarium's picks too much, but both players didn't take Lizards, perhaps a bit too scared of the Toads.
Yeah, it's definitely. They may have been over nerfed in a way, but they still are very potent if the other player doesn't have toads, but if you're at equal micro skills, lizards versus toads is the toad player will win. So both
Yeah, I
players are
definitely
obviously.
agree with that.
So I think the fact they didn't take lizards means both players, or definitely think the other one is a worthy competitor.
Yeah, the in a toad versus lizard micro battle, the toad player definitely has the advantage, or has an easier way of coming up ahead there. So looks like both players are just going for double squirrel on was that 8 farm from Insanitarium, and I think 7 farm from Chip from Space. Looking at these timings, never mind, they both went for the same timings. And yeah, it just looks like there's going to be a bunch of squirrels. Both players scouting out the map, figuring out where all the bases are. And I don't know, maybe Chip from Space is going to go a bit more defensive, since he's in the previous match he has lost to Insanitarium. We might see first deviation here with Chip from Space went up to 12 squirrels, has placed a landmine as well, and Insanitarium is going to go for skunks instead of more squirrels right now.
If he gets the base to his immediate right, I think this is a pretty great skunk defensive position.
Yeah, he does have the high ground right outside his base that he can put his skunks on. He does not have pigeons to prolong the lives of his skunks, however, so he has to be really careful with them, I think.
It's also just a narrow path to get into that second base if he goes for
Very
it.
true. Chip from Space is going for a very early boar here. We're at 2 minutes 40 seconds, and his tier 3 Warren placed all the way in the back, so I doubt that Insanitarium is going to scout this. He's going to try.
He doesn't
He
see any
is
more
gonna scout
Warrens.
it. Yeah, he does scout it now. Very nicely done. Unfortunately, the map is a bit open here, so he can run all the way around.
And also, at this point in the game, if you know you're getting a tier 2 out and an extra Warren, and then you see no tier 2 and no extra Warren from the other player, it should raise some bells.
Yeah, but now Insanitarium does know that the boar is coming, but I'm wondering if he has the right units to deal with it, because skunks and squirrels don't have that much DPS. So maybe this won't be enough, and he might just run into landmine here.
I think snakes are a pretty good option against.
Yeah, but he's not building
Warren.
any more tier 2, so Insanitarium is going to go for a push right now. He's got some skunk gas down. His skunk is in the front, he pulls it back nicely. Skunk survival on 4 HP, the squirrel's just going wild. Insanitarium
He's
might
got the
pull ahead
gas in
here.
the key spots. And
The
there's
boar is
no
not done
pigeons.
yet. There's going to be a few farms dying here. The skunk is still alive, putting down more gas. Skunk finally gets taken out, but end of the day, Chip from Space loses 2 farms and a bunch of squirrel warrens, but he will have his boar coming soon.
Just catching up, I think I was a little bit delayed.
So the boar is out now for Chip from Space, and I think he just has to go right away to try and push for this. And here we go. The boar is going to put down his first fire. Insanitarium trying to get some gas down, but
Just retreats immediately, but
yeah. And with squirrels having 8 HP now, they can stand in that skunk gas, and Insanitarium surrenders against the boar push, despite a very good tier 2 push with his skunks. Very nice game from both players here. Alright.
if it had been any, or if I guess if it did have to be boar there as the tier 3 push, or like if it had been Al, would it have been a similar situation where you'd see Chip winning, or is this only a boar thing you can do?
I think because Insanitarium went so heavily on tier 1, I think boar is the one correct choice in this scenario. The other tier 3s either take too long or just don't have enough straight up firepower to win against mass tier 1, in my opinion. But we'll have to see if that holds up. As we are getting ready for game number 2, Chip from Space up 1 game in this best of 5, so if he wins 2 more, he will take it, and we'll see if Insanitarium can bring it back.
He's dropped the skunk in favor of a fox this time.
Yeah. I don't know if that's going to be the correct choice, because the skunk push was pretty strong, but maybe he's just going to expect Chip from Space going for the exact same strategy, and he will counter it with perhaps a fox. So, let's talk about the positions here. We have Chip from Space on the left side of the map in green again, and Insanitarium in the right corner. Both players don't really have a good expansion option, in my opinion.
There'll definitely be an advantage to whoever can control those 2 bases on the high ground, but it's not going to be a game-winning one.
Yeah, it's I mean, I guess both players can get semi-safe expansions just because of how far away they are from each other. Chip from Space has slight edge in the way the bases are positioned, but we saw from last game that neither player actually got to a second base, so chances are we see the same thing again. Chip from Space went 8 farm Warren, I believe, and Insanitarium is going to go 7 farm double Squirrel, so a slight change in build here. Chip from Space does have a mine, but Insanitarium has scouted it, so is not going to run into that most likely. And we'll see if these early Squirrels from Insanitarium are going to make a difference.
Just scouting things out.
Yeah, both players just building up their armies. Probably going for 9 Squirrels, as Chip does right now. And I expect Insanitarium to do the same very soon, unless he goes for earlier tier 2, which is going to be the case. So he goes Snakes.
Guess he's afraid of that boar, or is there something else that some other reason you would get early snakes?
I think the Snakes are just a decent tier 2 in general, so I wouldn't rate them very highly or very lowly right now. CJ was trying to get some scouting in, but Chip from Space controlling that little hill in the middle. Depends on what he wants to do with these Snakes. If he wants to do another push like he did with the Skunks, or if he's just going to rely on them to defend against the boar push that he's most likely expecting from Chip. And Chip is saving up quite a bit of food, so chances are, he's adding on toads. So maybe expecting lizards or toads from Insanitarium, or perhaps chameleons. Because the toads versus squirrel matchup generally doesn't go that well.
Toads are also fairly decent against snake.
That's true, because the snakes won't really be able to take out the toads in time. But with this many squirrels from Insanitarium, he's going to go up to 15 very soon. I think it's going to be enough to deal with the toads, but Chip from Space has a very nice position on this hill here with these 2 landmines.
Yeah, doesn't see this snake.
And the snake just gets popped by the double landmine. Very nice win. And this other snake is very low and gets picked off as well. So now it's just squirrels for Insanitarium against the toad and lizard army from Chip. But Chip is going to decide to pull back. Very nice win for him, though.
I think he could have pushed his luck a little bit more.
Yeah, probably could have. But maybe he just wants to play it safe. Takes his win.
He goes for a boar.
Oh yeah, so he does have a boar coming up.
He's just looking to control any possible expand from Chris.
Yeah, Chris is going to try and secure some territory with a balloon here. Might see a fight. The toads are going to try and come in, but yeah, none of them actually get to detonate because the squirrels pick them off or run away. There's a balloon up, so that's going to give Insanitarium a nice amount of vision.
It's going to secure him that base and possibly at least push Chip back from the high ground. And it's also good against the boar.
Oh yeah, it's going to take a while before the balloon actually kills the boar. And speaking of the boar, the Warren has just finished, so the timer is on. No food delay there.
Expand though?
He saw one of the farms, but it's hidden by a tree, so maybe he didn't see it.
Oh, we just saw in the bottom expand the mine taking out a farm as soon as it was placed.
Yeah, he has it on his minimap, so he should know that there's a base there. So, the boar is out for Chip, and it looks like he is going to be trying to push. Insanitarium sold his second Snake Warren and is going to try and get a Fox up, but it might be too late if Chip from Space pushes right away.
It's also fairly close to the rest of the Warren, so...
Yeah, Chip from Space going around the balloon, but he also doesn't really have high ground vision. Oh, but the snakes run out in front and do not do well against the boar at all. Most of Insanitarium's army just gets roasted. And here comes, the boar is going to come out in front again, just burning down the squirrels, but most of Chip's tier 1 army is dead, although the mill for Insanitarium does go down, and with that he sees no way out to surrender. So Chip from Space, taking his second game, 1 game away from advancing to the next round. Very nicely done. So perhaps the idea, I think, was nice for the snakes, but maybe Insanitarium just mistiming his counters for the boar because he wasn't ready for it.
My thought is he needs to get his own tier 3 out at a similar pace if he thinks that's going to happen, rather than...
Yeah, I think that's that might be one strategy, or do something like he did in game 1, but perhaps a slightly more all-in tier 2 push, where he takes out more than 2 farms and a few warrens. Chip from Space has been decently lucky, I guess, with how his bases have been, that like he can get a boar out in a safe position. So maybe that will change. Yeah, Chip from Space not going to change a winning strategy, and Insanitarium trying to figure out how to deal with this. Gonna try adding in Falcons this time, still deciding on that last unit. And it is going to be the Fox. So sticking with the Fox idea, it didn't come out into play last game. But here we go, the third game. This might be the last one in this series, as Chip is up 2-0. We have Insanitarium in the south in red, and Chip from Space on the left-hand side in green. Again, I'd call this a fairly even map, even though there is a slight edge for Chip from Space.
Just a slight high ground, which doesn't really matter, except Chris doesn't have pigeons, so he's going to have to get the Falcon tier 2 if he wants to have a more successful push.
Chip from Space has pigeons again this game, which he didn't do last game, though it didn't really matter. We'll see if both players go for the... looks like, yeah, so both players going for 7 farms, and then going for units after that, excuse me. Chip actually going for 8 farms, and Insanitarium also going for 8 farms, so they are just going to get economy first, and then they'll worry about units later. And again, squirrels are the bread and butter of these early armies. Insanitarium going double squirrel warren, Chip from Space doing the same thing. Nothing surprising there. Chip from Space is going to get his first squirrels slightly early, but then Insanitariums are he put his warrens around the same time, so he'll get 2 and then another 2. There's like a slight timing he could exploit there, but I don't know if he's going to go for it.
It's very narrow.
Yeah.
And well, Chip's getting pigeons now. Yes, anticipating some fight.
Yeah, we're definitely seeing a slight difference in strategy here. Chip really likes these landmines in just nice positions. So last game they did a huge amount of work taking out a snake and ensuring the death of another one. Insanitarium is going to go for chameleons, looks like, while Chip is going for squirrels and pigeons rather than just pure squirrel like we saw in the previous games. And it looks like Chip from Space might actually go for an early push here, or he thinks better of it and decides not to do it.
Might be just posturing to control the high ground.
Yeah, you can posture for control high ground, place some more landmines if he wants. Insanitarium does scout what's going on, but now Chip from Space again has a very nice position to build his boar warren in.
And he does, which is the continual same strategy in and out.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Sanitarium does have 1 chameleon out, and his second one is almost done, so maybe he's looking to push with this. He does have a lead in terms of like straight army numbers right now.
There's a back way into the base that doesn't have mines if he's smart about which way he picks.
Yeah, there's still the issue of going up to the double high ground, and he doesn't have.
Oh, he's just bringing the chameleons around. He's
okay.
But it's just
some cheeky snipes.
Chip going to see the water move.
And he also ran into a landmine.
So he's definitely following there. So he's
Chip knows what's going on.
But I don't think
squirrels are ready for it. Yeah, he's just pulling back his chameleons. Landmines went off again, killing a good number of squirrels actually for Insanitarium, so the squirrel count is even.
But
and
you do
the
want
boar is halfway done.
Sanitarium needs to get those falcons or more chameleons to deal with the boar.
Yeah, he's just not respecting the boar, it looks like. He's going for an expansion here. He hasn't scouted the boar, but it would be safe to say that he should expect it at this point in the game.
Yeah.
So it is out now, and Chip is wasting no time running it immediately. Sanitarium is trying to get up a balloon, so we'll see if his timing wins him the game again. And again, Sanitarium just has squirrels and 2 chameleons, so he has to do a lot of work with
placing a
these.
Fox Warren about a minute too late.
Yep. So here comes the boar. Chameleons are out in... Nope. In Sanitarium has to pull back. He lost a few of his army already. The balloon is in range now, but probably just going to be able to... Just going to be Chip from space roasting all these squirrels again. The boar is about half HP right now. He's not getting healed by the pigeons. Okay, there it goes. But the expansion for Insanitarium is going to go down. The balloon is probably going to stay up, and Chip from space is going to take that as a win and retreat for now.
Did he lose the Fox Warren or did he sell it?
I believe he lost it. Because he doesn't have the food to rebuild all his chameleons, but I am not sure.
He did lose all of his army, so it might have gone into squirrels. But...
Now Chip is going to try and push into this position. The balloon is exposed, the balloon gets taken out, and now Insanitarium was trying to pull his chameleons around the back, but it didn't work, and throws in the towel. Chip from space taking his revenge after losing earlier 2-0 to CJ Ross, and will take the series and advancing to the next round. Very nicely played by him.
This should be reassuring to if you know how to beat this strategy. If you don't, you should be a lot. If your Dead Bones and Xena are not sure what to do, you better learn.
Yeah.
Quick.
We'll see. Let me just get our next players. Make sure that everyone is around, as we will have our next series coming up. It's going to be Dead Bones versus Xeno Acoup, and then we will see Chip from space again to face the loser of this next series. So we are looking to set up our next best of 5. It's kind of unfortunate, talking about the last series, that Insanitarium couldn't quite figure out how to deal with the strategy. I feel like he was trying a few different things, but it didn't quite work out.
His strategy was basically the same each time, and I think every time the mines were crucial in stopping what Chris wanted to do.
Yeah, it's actually a really good point. I think that the mines, even though Chip didn't use that many, did actually do a lot of work.
They just added that extra 20 seconds that he needed, and or took that slight army edge. That was just enough that Chris couldn't or shouldn't be attacking now, or was pushed off from attacking when he needed to.
Yeah, he was trying in the last game. He was trying to do fancy things with moving his chameleons, but again, they ran into a landmine and then had to run through the water, so he just couldn't quite get in there. And then when the tier 3 came out, he just had no way of dealing with it. Looks like we're just waiting for Dead Bones here, and then we can get this next series underway.
About this next series, I have no idea what I'm going to see.
There's a lot of history in this one, so...
Just looking from last finals they played against each other, there was... they threw everything at each other until they...
Alright, looks like we do have a game on our hands, as both players have readied up. Dead Bones versus Xeno Acoup, arguably two of the best players we have right now. And Dead Bones going... he may have picked up some strategies from the previous series, going with the boar, adding in squirrels, lizards, toads, and then snakes and machine gun nests, whereas Xeno going with his trusted ferrets and pigeons, and then adding in squirrels, toads, chameleons, and the machine gun nest. And here we go, game 1 of this upper bracket final, best of 5, Xeno Acoup versus Dead Bones as the players load in. We have Xeno Acoup in the north in red, playing as Hopper, and of course Ever Quartermaster Dead Bones in the south, where is that, east of the map? No, west, southwest. In green.
For the first two bases, this map looks fairly even.
Yeah, there's definitely possibility for macro play, as both of these players do enjoy doing.
It does look like a map Xeno would like initially. This is allow him to.
Deadbones, however, does not have his token sniper balloon or artillery in this setup, so he doesn't have an easy way of locking down parts of the map for him. So both players will have to rely on more of a standing army in order to defend positions. And if Deadbones does go for the machine gun nest, then Xeno has his ferrets to deal with that.
Both players going 7 Farm Warren.
Yep, Deadbones opting for lizards, and Xenocoop's going for squirrels as his first units. So would probably have a slight edge for Deadbones in the early game, but if Xeno just sits tight on his high ground, I don't think Deadbones can do a whole lot, as there's only one entrance into Xeno's base.
Xeno waiting to see what tier 1 it is before he shoots back.
These players know what they're doing, they want to know exactly what they're up against. Food count is exactly even, as it often is at this point in the game. Xeno's going for more squirrels, Deadbone's going for more lizards, and adding on some squirrels of his own, because Xeno is adding in some toads, so yeah, pretty standard stuff so far. Deadbones adds in some squirrels to deal with the very likely toads coming from Xeno, and Xeno's adding in toads to deal with the lizards he already scouted. Deadbone's going to go for his second mill, whereas Xeno is going to opt for some more army first. Looks like he's adding in more toads first, and then, yeah, so he's going 9 squirrels, 6 toads, then we'll see where it goes next.
Wouldn't be surprised if he expanded now.
Well, there is only one way into his base, so I reckon it'd be pretty safe, but maybe he's just a little bit too scared of what might happen if he spent his food on expansion. He's going to add in some pigeons. Deadbones is going to go and add 2 farms, so Xeno could pull ahead in army value here, but he has a limited window before Deadbones' economy starts paying off.
I think he might be worried about a tier 3, but now he expands.
Yeah, so Xeno just playing it a little bit safer, going for slightly more army before expanding. Whereas Deadbones already has his first 2 farms about to finish, and thinks he probably has enough units to defend here. He stayed on the first. He only built 2 lizard warrens and has stayed on that number, and just adding in squirrels and toads after that.
Xeno will go for chameleons as his first tier 2, which is
probably going to pay off actually, because Deadbones only has 3 toads. Xeno has his own toads to kind of deal with that, so if it comes to a fight between these units, it's definitely going to matter on who controls his units better. Deadbones is going to pull slightly ahead in economy here, but Xeno is going to scout that expansion, so he does know what's going on. We'll see how he reacts. He could go for more economy of his own. Yeah,
looks like
so he's going to try and catch up. But Xeno does have the tier 2 advantage, so maybe he's going to look at push for this.
But Deadbones is going up to 6 toads now, so
yeah, that should be enough to deal with the chameleons, even though he doesn't quite know that they exist yet. Both players are going to be more or less even on economy soon, and Deadbones is going to go for the boar now. In 4 minutes he places the boar warren, so that is going to be the timing he's looking to get. He doesn't have pigeons to back it up, which I feel made a pretty big difference in Chip's games, is having those pigeons to make sure the boar stayed healthy, because it is the one center point of the strategy.
Xeno is going for mass toad.
Yeah, toads deal with the lizards. Deadbones did add more lizards now, so a good read and good scout. But Deadbones does have 6 toads, which is...
He's stockpiling for food.
Yeah. He needs to, and he wants his board to start building as soon as possible, and it is on the way right now. So Deadbones has 6 toads, which is probably enough to deal with the 12 toads from Xeno, but then maybe the chameleons get free reign. Xeno's going to push forward with another mill here. He has some turrets set up. Deadbones has no easy way of dealing with these turrets, and the boar is not very good at pushing into a line of turrets either, so...
Just spread out like this, it'll be difficult.
Yep. Although it is going to be a bit of a meat grinder if these 2 armies do come to a head-on collision
Xeno
not
does
seen
have
a single
ferrets
fight.
coming, which is an interesting counter to boar. It at least keeps boar moving.
Yeah, the ferrets will keep the ball moving and will also eventually force an engagement, but it looks like Deadbones is ready to go. This turret is not going to get up. And here we go, the toad's going off. Xeno's desperately trying to... Yeah, he's retreating, trying to keep his army safe, but the explosions go off. Deadbones and squirrels are going to survive, and
The boar is
despite
fine.
the turret doing work, the boar is fine. Deadbones still has 19 squirrels on the field, and Xeno's chameleons did not do anything. His ferrets did not do much either, and it looks like Deadbones is just going to truck on through, take this expansion, cripple Xeno's economy, and might just even take the game right here. Down goes the mill. There's so many squirrels alive still, and Xeno does not have good AoE. Good toad explosions, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. The boar still has a lot of health left. Ferrets is trying to do what it can. The Warrens are getting taken out, and Xeno is going to lose in game 1.
It's like a dominant strategy that
Yeah, the boar timing might be the strategy of this tournament. Yeah, Deadbones slightly ahead in economy for most of the game, but it was definitely the boar that ends up winning that particular game more than anything else. So far, we've not seen a good counter to it, and whoever's been able to get to that boar first, or we've not even seen a race for it. Whoever gets the boar out ends up winning the game. So we'll see if that changes. Deadbones up 1 game in this best of 5. And we're in the army selection for game 2. I doubt that Deadbones is going to make huge adjustments to the strategy. I think the amount of lizards he had definitely helped to yeah, Xeno just going boar first.
he's seen what's happened, doesn't want to.
Yeah, so it's going to be an interesting game. I think it's going to depend who's going to be greedier in trying to get that boar out first. Xeno deciding on his last pick here. I do think the machine gun nests were a good pick last game.
Yeah, it was again they worked well for maintaining the early game, but once the boar came out, they weren't enough.
I feel like these games where there's no real early engagements, whoever goes for the boar first definitely has a huge advantage, because it doesn't matter if you have a big army, the boar is going to roast it all. But here we go, game number 2, Xenocoup vs Deadbones upper bracket finals, and we have some interesting spawns here. Xenocoup in the left corner in red, and Deadbones in the north in green.
Deadbones has lizards, and Xeno does not have an easily choke point to defend.
We could see the lizards being king of the map here. It's going to be interesting to see how this one plays out, because they spawn quite close to each other, and as they secure more bases, they will have to spread themselves out across the map. And whoever has lizards generally has an edge there, but Xeno does have falcons, so he can sort of respond to threats properly if he gets those.
He has no defensive unit.
And Deadbones did go for ferrets, maybe in response to the turrets he saw earlier. Deadbones is going to go 5 farm double lizard, and Xeno does not know this is coming yet. He hasn't scouted it. So Xeno's going to go 7 farms, single squirrel, and Deadbones' first 2 lizards are on the way. He spots it now, but this is probably not enough.
He's going to look to snipe a farm or 2 here.
Yep, can pick up this corner farm, loses 1 lizard for it, that's perfectly fine. I think the next 3 lizards are ready. Deadbones looking to pick off another farm. He's going to go down quite fast with these 3 lizards. He does get 2 out, very close with Deadbones.
Xeno starts rebuilding farms, which...
Yeah, Deadbones can just go again once he has 5 or 6 lizards, because Xeno's army value is going to be pretty low. And Deadbones has kind of secured himself a free hitting spot in the north here, because there's not that many pigs. Xeno forced to sell his farm, very nice.
He
He
may have
loses
just
another
been baiting
pig.
up the next attack, but
Yeah.
it still costs him the farm.
Yeah, Xeno only lost 1 farm because he managed to sell the other 2, but he lost some more squirrels, and now Deadbones is going to slightly pull ahead in economy. He still has these 6 lizards if he wants to go again. Xeno's trying to catch up in army value, but it's taking some time. Deadbones looking to come in again, picking off that. Xeno's selling it for half value, but Deadbones does lose a bunch of lizards for it, but it's delaying Xeno's economy a significant amount, and this is going to allow Deadbones to slowly pull ahead.
He just goes up to 9 lizards and waits to go again.
Exactly, there's going to be more and more lizards from Deadbones, while Xeno is desperately trying to stabilize here. He is trying to get some toads out here, which is going to be nice. I like the angle, because Deadbones might change his angle of attack. He spots that there's another Warren, but he doesn't know what it is quite yet. It's going to go up to 12 lizards for Deadbones here. As Xeno is having some trouble, his first toad is on the way, but against 8 lizards, that may not be enough. Xeno's not home to defend this, so these lizards might just overrun everything. Toad is going to spawn, but it only hits on 1 lizard. Xeno losing 1 farm, 2 farms, and again, Deadbones just slowing down the economy game for Xeno, but Xeno should be able to get up his toads before the next wave, which may just buy him some time. Deadbones is not going to let up the pressure, it looks like. He has 8 lizards currently. He's going to add in a Toad Warren of his own, and he's looking to go again.
Is he looking to hit the Warrens now? Or sees the toads and backs
very
off?
Nice. Very nice from Deadbones. He lost a single lizard against those toads. He sells his Deadbones selling toads, going into squirrels. He has a lot of food right now, 200 food for Deadbones. So he's going to grab an expansion, while Xeno is still trying to get all of his economy up. So Deadbones has pulled significantly ahead in terms of, well, everything really. Xeno has a slight lead in army value, but Deadbones has been more or less ahead for the rest of the game. So Deadbones has a second mill, he's adding on tier 2, while Xeno is struggling to build farm number 8 4 minutes into the game. So this is the story. Yep. Story of lizards against a player who doesn't have defensive structures on an open map. Very nicely played from Deadbones, recognizing that.
Yeah, I think on these kind of maps, you have to just go double Warren 7 farms, right?
Yeah, I think Xeno just didn't respect the possibility of early aggression, and now Deadbones has a ferret. He has a really strong army to back it up, so this ferret is just going to take out this expansion sooner rather than later. Xeno can dance some of his units if he wants to, but it's going to delay the inevitable, I feel like. The second ferret's going to be coming soon. Deadbones has toads to deal with Xeno's toads, keeping his toads away from that mill, so it denies Xeno's expansion. Deadbones has 2 farms on his own expansion. Now Xeno is probably going to have to do this 1 base all-in play, while ferrets slowly siege his base. So we'll see if he can break out of this, because if he does kill Deadbones' army, he has a good shot of just winning the game right then and there, but he doesn't have a lot of time left. Looks like Xeno's going to try and go for it. This ferret might get picked off. It's on half HP right now, but it does survive. It's kind of stuck on the machine gun nest. Okay, it does get around. Xeno's trying to get into a position.
Wrap around, but Deadbones wants the base race.
Deadbones is just going to go for the base race here, and it looks like he has just enough firepower to do it, and Deadbones will take game number 2 off of a very cheeky, but also not respected lizard push.
That was a good attack at the end by Xeno, but it left him open just enough for Deadbones to come in, and Deadbones saw that and was able to pull ahead. Or pull ahead, sorry, I mean finish the match.
Close the game out. He had the right units for what he wanted to do, using what he picked, and we didn't see a bore at all that game because of the close spawns, I would say.
I feel like Deadbones could have done whatever he wanted to close out the game, whether it was the expand, which he did do, or he could have gone bore if he wanted to make a point about the strength of bore.
Alright, wasting no time here. Deadbones up 2 games in this best of 5, so if he wins this one, he will advance to the grand finals, and Xeno will drop to the lower bracket finals to face Chip from Space. We have Xeno Recoup in the south of the map as red again, and Deadbones to the northeast as green. Both players have a good safe expansion, I would say. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, they both have. Xeno's is just like in the direction he'd normally walk, and Deadbones is
just completely safe.
Yeah, the safest back expand you can ask for.
This map screams 2 base play.
Yeah, pushing into bases will be very difficult.
Yep, it's almost like a StarCraft 2 map where everyone gets the same, and then you just play whatever. So we will see. Deadbone's going for 7 farm squirrel. Xeno sticking around a little bit to scout that. So chances are he will go. Okay, he's also going to go 7 farm squirrel. I think you could get away with 8 farm because of the distances on this map, but he's going to play it safe.
There's a road that cuts it down by.
True.
But it still is fairly.
And there's
I would
high
say
ground
Xeno.
involved as well. But he's just going to play it safe, that's fine. He does scout that Deadbones went for squirrels first, so Xeno probably not looking to add in toads anytime soon. Deadbones going 1 Warren expansion, because hey, why not? Xeno doesn't really have a way to pressure Deadbones this early. He would have to get ferrets and pigeons, and then maybe siege from the low ground. But we're not into that territory quite yet. Xeno does scout that Deadbones is expanding, so he knows about it. Whereas Deadbone scouts that Xeno hasn't expanded, but he is going to do so now. Alright, but did Deadbone scout that? Doesn't look like it.
He has to know at this point, though.
Yeah, I mean, he probably suspects it, but he didn't 100% confirm. Deadbone's going to go for a safety machine gun nest. Xeno's floating a lot of food. Okay, so Deadbones does scout that there's an expansion for Xeno. Xeno trying to make sure Deadbones doesn't get this full scouting information. This is going to take out the commander. And then go full on economy.
This is the map for it.
Yeah, this is the kind of map where you just get farms. But I wouldn't expect
It is worth noting
Xeno to
that
go...
yeah, it is worth noting that Deadbones has slightly safer map for a full base expand, whereas
both players going this aggressive into economy, there is always a chance of the game extending beyond that 2 base timing, and then when you need to look for a 3rd base, it's going to be up to Deadbones to figure out where he wants to take that. But for now, both players building up their economy, and Xeno is going 2 squirrels with a bunch of barbed wire into a boar.
I think one of the big reasons the boar was so successful was due to the fact that there was a tier 1 army to back it up. It didn't need to be much, but there certainly was one there to absorb the snake shots and all of the other, so the boar wasn't taking all of the fire. But so,
yeah, I think the 100 HP on the board just does synergize quite well with having a tier 1 army. So Xeno is going to have the earlier boar here, and he is going to have enough tier 1s to back it up by the time it comes out. It looks like adding on a bunch of squirrel warrens. He will have to deal with the machine gun nest on the high ground, whereas Deadbones' boar, the warren is going to be finished soon. But he does have a lot of food, but Xeno is denying him from going back, so Deadbones is losing some time here. Okay, so Xeno's boar is going to be out in about 10 seconds. Deadbones is still about, 25 seconds away?
Yeah, I'd say. Or 20 seconds now.
Yeah, Xeno is going to play it safe and get a 3rd base, so he will have, if this push doesn't go catastrophically wrong, he will have a way to come back into the game. But if he doesn't act now, then Deadbones will have his own boar. And I think the main reason...
I think with Lizard Micro you can definitely make boar feel very sad trying to actually hit something.
Yeah, now we have the not seen before scenario where both players have a boar. Deadbone is just going to take out this base from Xeno. Xeno mostly taking it to delay Deadbone's base, I do expect, because both players have enough food to throw around. Xeno has ferrets to start seeding this position, but Deadbones looks like he's going to go in, but this water might be too tricky. Okay, so the base is going to go down for Xenocoup. Both boars laying down the fire. It's very hard to see who is ahead right now. Xeno does have pigeons, but most of them seem to be dead. Looks like Xeno might be taking the upper hand here because his Xeno's pigeons.
I think having the base there.
Yeah.
Xeno had the pigeons for big help, but I think even bigger was having the base.
Yeah, the base tanked a lot of shots. The ferrets stood in the back while the boar has to stand still to do its damage.
What you want to do with lizards against the boar is wrap them around and force and surround the boar, which you can't do if there's a base.
Yeah,
right
also
there.
the fact that there was a river to work around with didn't help for Deadbones. So now Deadbones doesn't have a boar yet, whereas Xeno has
It's 20
his and
seconds
all of his
away from
army
having
alive.
It's 20
And
seconds. to-
oof, that was a
Jesus.
lot of damage on that spot all at once. The boar is just healing up again. Deadbone's trying to put down some turrets, but it's not going to be enough. Xenocoop pushing forward, Ferret sieging in the back. Xeno does take down Deadbones' first expand, is targeting the Warrens right now, and this army of pigeons isn't threatened at all right now. So the boar is just laying waste to these farms. Deadbones is waiting for his time, is going to go in with his army now. The boar is getting low, and it looks like it might be taking out. It's on 5 HP. The pigeons are in the front, not currently healing the boar.
So
Deadbones
the
is
boar
trying to
is-
push forward.
When he's
Xeno's boar
retreat-
is going to survive.
He's gonna push him back.
Deadbones pushes back Xeno.
Loses
The-
only one farm, but a bunch of Warrens out of that.
Yeah. Deadbones does not have the warrants to go for another push. Xeno may be taking a risk here, but no, he just gets enough reinforcements and takes out.
The game.
That's nice. All right, so we have 2-1 for Deadbones, I do believe.
Oh. No, it's not the player who gets boar who wins. It's the player who gets boar first who wins.
That's
But that's that may be an oversimplification because of
probably
the
yeah.
river.
It's probably it's a nice read, I think, from Xeno to take that position and take the fight there. And maybe Deadbones is a bit too overeager to take it there, but
I certainly wouldn't have gone for that base, but just because of the range of ferrets or the stuff from the high ground. But
either way,
It's
both
definitely-
players getting a good read on the strengths and weaknesses of their armies. Deadbones was holding back just enough to almost push back Xeno. His boar survived on 4 HP, but then it did get healed up enough to swoop back again near the end of the game.
we have a
and
series now.
kill the
It's
boars.
1-1.
Alright, so we have game number 4 between Deadbones and Xenocoop.
Very large map.
Yes, this is definitely one of the larger map generations you can have in a 1v1. We have a Xenocoop in north, all the way up north in red again, and Deadbones near the south end of the map in green. Probably not going to see any 5-farm double lizard this time around. But it looks like the army selection is pretty similar again. The Xeno going for the turrets here, whereas Deadbones is going to go for barbed wire, which was the other way around in the previous game.
Dino has the much safer second base. Oh, I misspoke. It's 2-1 Deadbones. Sorry.
Yep, so Deadbones is 1 win away again from advancing to the grand finals, but Xenocoop has shown that he can take these matches to a win. So if Xeno wins this one, then it comes down to just map RNG, some would say, as to who would advance to the grand finals.
Let's hope that doesn't happen.
Let's hope that doesn't happen.
I feel like there's been a lot of work in map gen, and we've certainly seen very even maps
Yeah,
for the
it's
most part.
definitely improved.
So it'd be very unfortunate if the
Yeah, I don't think
time ranking.
any of the maps we've seen today have been particularly imbalanced for either player. There's been some advantages, but definitely not anything crazy.
No advantages that resulted in the win.
Yep, probably fair to say. So both players going for the exact same timings, pretty much. Second base, Xeno got his a little bit earlier than Deadbones, but in the grand scheme of things, it's not going to matter too much. And both players sitting comfortably on 3 Squirrel Warrens.
Deadbones will pick up pigeons.
I do like the pigeons because squirrels have 8 HP and 2 damage now. They do synergize with pigeons a little bit better, because before they would just get popped in 2 shots by anything. So there was like no real interaction there. Xeno is going to go for some farms on his expansion, whereas Deadbones is opting for some more warrens, which Xeno hasn't quite scouted yet. But he does probably sense that something is up.
But he only has that forewarned, so there's a good chance he might think it's just going into farms.
True. But Xeno is missing some information now. He doesn't know that Deadbones has a second base,
But he
and he
goes for
doesn't know that it doesn't have farms. But yeah, Xeno is going to go for the boar now, which Deadbones
Hasn't scouted.
has not scouted. Keep pressing the wrong buttons to try and figure that out. Okay, so Xeno does see that Deadbones has a base, but he doesn't see any farms on it, so he must know that Deadbones has more units. And Deadbones is going to go for this earlier push with just a tier 1 army, and Xeno's going to try and defend, trying to put up some gun nests, but it's probably going to be too late. The squirrels from Xeno Cooper, that going to be overrun by the lizards, looks like. Deadbones and
think it's the
squirrels are
pigeons here that-
surviving.
I think it's the pigeons that are really allowing.
Yeah,
But he's able to
Xeno
push
Coop
it back.
losing most of his machine gun nests. He lost
His-
one Warren, but
his
he
boar
does
isn't
push
building.
back. Yeah, the boar
His
isn't
boar
building
isn't-
currently.
Which is very important.
It's going to take some time. He still needs to rebuild those toads if he wants to get the boar out. He's
Deadbones is now trying to catch up on economy.
Deadbones definitely did enough damage, and he's delaying the boar, which I think is the important part here. He's going to try and scout again. Sees that Xeno only has 2 farms. So, yeah, Xeno's boar gonna come out now because he had to wait for those toads. Deadbones has... I mean, the army values are pretty even. Deadbone's gonna go for some ferrets, excuse me, to go with it. Deadbone's gonna pull ahead in economy as well, but there is that boar on the way. So once that comes up and Xeno is getting pigeons to keep it alive, then I think Xeno has a really good shot at winning this game.
I don't think one Farronborn is enough to deal with the boar.
Definitely not. I think Deadbones is more looking to pressure with it, but he does scout the boar now, so maybe this was... We'll see how he reacts to this. He's gonna go for a boar of his own, but he has to hold this push because Xeno's boar just spawned. He does have 3 pigeons up already.
It's a very large map, so he has the
Yeah, it's
most
gonna
amount
take
of
some
time,
time.
but
Deadbones gonna try and do some harass with this single ferret, but it's not even gonna get a shot off, looks like. Xeno is coming up, he has his pigeons, he has his boar up.
if he can cross this river in the last hurdle,
Yep, ready to go. Toads are gonna get some detonations on the squirrels, it looks like, whereas Deadbones is running his lizards around the map, but
I don't think he can
5
catch them with
lizards.
those. Luckily,
Yeah.
Crispin settle automatically.
Okay, so the lizards might take out a farm or 2, but meanwhile, Xenocoops' forces are threatening Deadbones' main base, are going to take out that base, going to take out the ferret, and Deadbones' Bull Warren is going to be on the fire very soon, but no, Xeno is just going to go for the win here, is going to go for the kill on the base, stopping on his way to clear the Warrens first. Deadbones sells his Bull Warren because he needs the food, and Xeno is just cleaning up right now. But most of his tier 1 forces are kind of dead. So it's up to Uncle Butters to carry his weight here.
Certainly,
There's no pigeons anymore, so
it's the
Uncle
last
Butters, the
HP.
one-man army. Okay, there is a pigeon, so Uncle Butters
Deadbones is just
for a
gonna
while.
let him. Probably a mistake here. You think he could have?
Yeah,
Oh, but
Deadbones-
Deadbones has built a 3rd base.
Yeah, Deadbones has built a 3rd mill, so he's not quite dead, but these few lizards are eventually going to take out Xeno's expansion, but Xeno isn't starving quite yet, whereas Deadbones is ticking down. He's on about 45 seconds right now. And all he has is a couple of squirrels, which aren't going to do much against the might of Uncle Butters, so Xeno can just sell some Warrens, get the base going, and take his time to win the game, because Deadbones isn't going to have an army anytime soon.
He has a few seconds left on this farm, though. So he doesn't
Yeah,
have
so,
that
you
much
know,
time to.
He doesn't have that much time, but he has enough food to come
Deadbones
against.
is gonna try.
Oh, Deadbones is going to try and base race this with 3 squirrels and a lizard, while in the meantime, Xeno is going to win this slightly unfavorable base race for Deadbones. So that ties up the series 2-2. Going to a game 5, I'll be honest, I did not expect this.
Yeah, so after the first 2 games, a lot of people would have counted Xeno out.
Well,
But he's
it's,
certainly showing that he has the gumption to carry on.
yeah, props to Xeno for pulling it back in. Very nicely played. These ball pushers definitely putting in a lot of work.
Recognizing that if you can't beat it, you can't beat him, join him.
Yep, very true. So it comes down to this last game in this series to see who advances to the grand final.
Xeno's taking the lizards for the first time this year.
Not going for squirrels. See how that goes. Going for the ball, obviously. Yeah, loser of this will face Chip from Space in the lower bracket finals, and then the winner of this advances to the grand finals, who will face the winner of the lower bracket finals. We don't usually do double elim, but it's been working out great since last week, so it's pretty fun to see how this format goes. And here we go, final game, Xenocoop versus Deadburns. We have a Xenocoop in the red on the east side of the map, and Deadburns all the way in the west. We're in green. And again, map is decent. Praise be Andy Schatz, he did it.
Yeah. So it isn't the most safe expansion for either player.
Yeah, I would agree with that. They don't have super safe expansions, but they're also not horrible. Xeno can get the one on the high ground right outside of his base. Deadbones has to like cross the water, but he can place his army in a decent enough spot to defend both bases, I feel. So probably going to see 7 Farm Warren again from both players.
Deadbones doesn't have a weak to lizard army or base, which is nice for those folks who wanted to see a nice long game.
Yeah, definitely. So Xeno is going to go for 7 Farm Lizard, whereas Deadburns is going for Squirrels. And considering Xeno doesn't have Squirrels in this case, he will have to be very careful with his Toads.
Yeah, as this might be the first player who hasn't taken Squirrels.
Yeah, I think it is the first time we see it today. So it's going to go down to how well Xeno can control his Toads and Lizards, which is very tricky, to say the least, because of how fast Lizards move.
It's the last game of the series, might as well show off.
I guess, yeah, and he's running on this road to... yeah, there's this road running all the way between the bases.
Not a direct road, it's just it's a meandering, but it does connect the two.
Yeah, it's probably still faster than going through the water in the middle.
Both players will be getting their second bases up at about the same time.
Xeno again getting his a little bit earlier, but is going to get some warrens before getting farms. We'll see how Deadburns reacts. Looks like Deadburns is going to get some farms before warrens, so...
Same thing as last match.
Last match, Xeno got 2 farms, and Deadburns went for the push. Yeah.
Match before, sorry.
Yes. But the big but is the big butters. We will see who goes for the boar first and who gets it out.
Xeno has not scouted Deadbones expansion yet. Is worth noting.
Yep, and Xeno does have a fair number of Toads and Lizards here. He's going to scout Deadbones' expansion right now. So he does know that he's slightly behind in economy, but he's moving his Lizards in.
He actually could take out Deadbones' army right now if he attacked.
He's only moving his Lizards. I don't know what Xeno's plan is here. He's going to lose one of his Lizards and back off again. There wasn't really an angle to work with there. Well,
and once Deadbones was in position to control his Toads, the attack wasn't going to work.
But Xeno does have his Boar Warren on the way. It's about 1/3 done. Deadbones is going to need some time before his comes up, as he's getting more tier 1. But the question, I think, is will Xeno have enough firepower to deal with the Toads from Deadbones?
He's transitioning into Falcon, so it's the first time we see this today.
Yeah. Okay. I was gonna say he's not. If he doesn't get any pigeons, then the Butters push does feel very all-in. But it does look like Xeno is gonna add in some pigeons, and the timing for his boar is very nice. The boar is starting to build. Actually,
Deadbones has started his Boar Warren as well.
It's on the way, but again, Xeno's going to get his first, and so far, whoever builds the boar first wins the game, so we'll see if that holds up in this game fight between these two players. Deadbones has a lot of food right now, so I wonder what he's going to spend it on. Looks like more lizards.
Again, if you can... Lizards, if they can surround the boar, you can deal with it.
Yeah, but Xeno does have Toads to protect his boar with if he wants to. But now Xeno does have his boar out and is going to go for the push. Looks like his target is going to be Deadbones' expansion, maybe using the fact that
rallying his army to get into position.
Yeah, Deadbones needs to get there, but the river is delaying his toads. The boar is out in front, and here we go. So Uncle Bud is going to target the machine gun, which does go down. Deadbones is going to ignore this fight. Take out Xeno's base, looks like. But it's a base trade? Deadbones tried to pull back, but he didn't do it, and now he may just
His
go
army
for
is
the base
still-
race.
His army is not going to survive this.
Yeah, Deadbones' army is going to be dead after this. He only has 4 lizards to try and
And
kill this,
also,
but this is not going to be
killing the
enough.
pig actually extends in terms of a base race, and extends the starvation timer.
So now we have both players on 4 farms. We have Deadbones does have his own boar out, but Deadbones is having trouble reinforcing his tier 1 army because both players don't have the expansion. Deadbones lost his army, but Xeno did not. And I think this is Xeno's Coop's game to win right now.
He's enough to rebuild the boar if it dies, whereas it's not the same for Deadbones.
And Xeno does have these falcons, which may swing the battle in his favor, although it does get picked off. Deadbones, again, maybe trying to just dodge this fight. His boar is exposed, and it looks like it will go down.
It's just gonna go for
Again,
it. But there's
Deadbones
2
is-
if Xeno recognizes he just has 2 bases, doesn't need
Yeah,
to.
but Xeno probably wants to play this safe. He's only pulled back his lizards while his boar is still burning stuff in the background.
the
Deadbones'
falcon is-
army gets cleaned up again.
Deadbones has no reinforcements.
Yeah, Deadbones has had to sell most of his warrens. He sold his boar warren, while Xeno still has his boar up, so...
Bone's going for a GG
Deadbones-
safe expand.
Yeah, against the base
here
race.
meeting is for base race, not for protection.
So now Deadbones' plan basically revolves around
These,
outrunning
these,
Xeno, I
9
think.
these 9 lizards have to do
Yeah.
something.
If Xeno just sits on one base with his boar, I think he has more than enough to win this.
Deadbones is starving right now. And
Yeah,
He-
Deadbones is on...
if he lets these units die, he's gonna have a tricky time getting.
Deadbones has no more farms. His army gets taken out. Xeno Coop does have his
Oh, he has 2
entire...
lizards. He's going
2
for
lizards
the farm.
killing this farm. Okay, so both players starving right now, but Deadbones is on 35 seconds, whereas Xeno is on 55, and Xeno has plenty of warrens to sell if he wants to. So Xeno stopped the starvation timer, whereas Deadbones
Deadbones
still
needs to sell
doesn't quite have
multiple.
the
Needs to
food.
sell multiple because as soon as he sells one warren, it just reinforces. It starts building the other one, so it can be a
He
bit
has enough
frustrating.
now, so he will stop the starvation timer. But his one farm is very close to Xeno's.
If Xeno just scouts this, it's over.
Yeah, but
if he does-
Xeno's
he doesn't
probably a
ever
little
see it.
bit scared. Deadbones is just gonna go for it again, but 5 lizards aren't gonna do anything. And
This game.
Xeno a Coop with the reverse sweep.
Impressive play and impressive. Just
This, yeah,
quickly
whoever gets the
adopting
ball first
quickly.
wins.
quickly adopting the tactics. He's
Very nice.
time. Well,
So with that, that is going to be the end of our second series of today. We have Xeno a Coop advancing to the upper bracket finals, and Deadbones will drop to the lower bracket final to face off against Chip from Space, which is going to be our first matchup after we take a quick break. So grab a drink, go to the bathroom, we'll be back in 5 minutes. evening again, ladies and gentlemen, for the second half of our coverage for the January campaign, Week 2. We have our second tournament about to end. We have 2 more series for you today. We have Deadbones versus Chip from Space coming up in a best of 5, and then whoever wins that gets to face off against Xenoacoup, who is awaiting as the final boss in the grand finals. Xenoacoup taking out Deadbones in a, I would say, convincing reverse sweep in the series we saw just before the break, and Chip from Space completely running over CJ Ross or Insanitarium with his boar strategy. So we'll see how this plays out in this next series. Joining me are Captain Fog, who has made it back in time.
Hello. I
And-
had a little problem with my door and it being locked and me being outside.
That's, of course, unfortunate. And again, we have Valently here.
Hello.
And shout out to AV Ultimate behind the scenes for running the stream and making sure everything runs more or less smoothly as we do. So, let's not waste too much time. Hop into this lobby. And looks like our players are almost here. We have to sort out who plays what commander.
See the biggest battle of this tournament.
Yeah, who okay, so shout out to Deadbones. He did lose in a convincing reverse sweep against Xenoacoup. So Deadbones is gonna back down and go for Hopper instead of a Quartermaster. So let's see, we have a game on our hands. Deadbones is gonna go for the boar. I expect Chip from Space to do the same. Well, then they talk to me about these picks.
Well, Deadbones is playing a similar build as he's done throughout what we've seen so far. And Chip from Space actually going for a fox instead of boar. Being the first player we've seen today doing the boar rush, does he know the secret tech to beat it?
Interesting. We'll see if Chip from Space actually knows the secret to his own strategy. And as we load into this map, we do have some fairly close spawns. We have Deadbones as a Hopper for once in the west of the map, whereas Chip from Space is in the southeast as Quartermaster, so in a green. And we'll see if Deadbones can capitalize on this map again by going early lizards. But there is only one entrance.
Yeah, I'm not liking Deadbone's spawn position in the west here. Definitely not great options for expansion. There's the one base that's surrounded by almost all water, just to the northeast of his own, but no easy naturals for him, whereas Chip from Space has a nice high ground expansion and pretty much the pick of the litter of the 4 bases on the right side of the map.
Of the maps we've seen today, this is certainly the most uneven. However, I wouldn't go as far to say it's like unconquerably high or steep. Just because of where I'd expect Deadbones to expand, whether it be the island or somewhere else, he does have the ability to defend it, whereas some very unfair maps you can't even defend your next closest base.
Yeah, I would agree. The map is fairly even. There's a slight edge for Chip, but Deadbones is not completely locked out from expansions. You can get the one all the way in the north, and it's going to be pretty safe from any attack. And he can just burrow to it to get farms if he wants to. It's something we've seen Deadbones do in the past, so we'll see how this plays out. Chip from Space is going to go for his landmine in a very nice spot, where he tries to get some squirrels up. He's going to go up to 9 squirrels, whereas Deadbones is getting 9 lizards. And Chip is his landmine got taken out, I believe.
Alright, Deadbones going up to those 9 lizards, has some squirrels coming on the way. Chip going for those toads is going to do pretty well against those lizards. There have been a couple of changes, both forthcoming and in the past few patches. We'll see how that affects those. Those landmines, what do you think about those landmine placements? It's kind of strange. It's not really in the way of most of the units that would be traveling by.
Yeah, I don't like this particular landmine position. I think maybe Chip from Space wants to, if he places his lizards in that little high ground corner, then his squirrels, I mean, then they're going to be pretty safe, because you can't get to that position, but Deadbones can also just run around it, so he doesn't have to engage. And Deadbones is going to get a boar up. It looks like. I'm trying to find where the warren is. Okay, it's all the way in the back of his base. Whereas Chip is getting a fox, and looking at the timing, these are actually pretty close. So we'll see if Chip from Space has actually figured out this this boar rush strategy.
In boar versus fox, who do you think has the advantage there?
As time goes on, the fox will definitely win out, but the boar has a lot of health, so he can sort of shrug off the first couple of fox hits, especially if Deadbones adds in pigeons here. But the timing, for once, is actually good on the fox here, because in the previous games where in Sanitarium, CJ Ross was trying to get the fox against the boar, he was just getting it too late, and it never got up in time.
I think the big thing to look for in a fox versus boar is the positioning of where the fight takes place. Like, if it's because the boar, of course, does AoE damage, whereas the fox is not. So the fox will want a large open field to fight, whereas the boar's near the warrens.
The player with the fox to put on the pressure, and Chip from Space is going to do exactly that. Deadbones' army is a little bit vulnerable. He has a machine gun nest, but it's not quite protected yet. So Chip can just keep poking with his fox, and now Deadbones does have his boar, so it's going to come forward with the boar. Boar takes one fox shot. He's going to lay down his fire on the tier 1 units. The fox is trying to hit the boar, but he's having some trouble hitting it because there's so many pigeons, but Chip from Space's army is actually still alive, whereas most of Deadbones' tier 1 is dead. The boar is going to go down, whereas Chip from Space still has some tier 1. He has a fox alive with pigeon support. There's one machine gun that's just going to delay his push, but this is a big win for Chip.
Yeah, definitely. Looking at those army value graphs, Chip is coming out way ahead. Both players had about the same army value coming in.
Deadbones has to sell the machine gun nest to pay for units, which is going to allow Chip to just push forward, clean up these warrens, but keep in mind that Deadbones does have a far base all the way in the east side of the map, as somewhat expected, I suppose. But Chip can just push forward here. He picks up a farm right there, very nice. There is a machine gun nest to delay him, but Deadbones has 6 lizards, 2 squirrels that don't have a home, and a boar that isn't finished yet, so Chip has a huge timing here. Look at that squirrel just tanking the machine gun nest because he has 2 pigeons to support it, and Chip is just going to roll on through. Deadbones' boar is finished, but Chip, I think, has more than enough units to just... Okay, he's going to back off a little bit, wants to play it safe, but this fox can just poke away at the boar forever, and Deadbones is on 3 farms, Chip is on 4. Chip is just gonna... he needs one more shot to kill this boar. There it goes down, and now Deadbones, what does he have? He has nothing, so Chip from Space winning game 1 against Deadbones, showing that he knows how to deal with his own strategy. Was a very nice game from him.
That was intense. Definitely that Fox micro from Chip from Space. Taking out that boar, the boar did a lot of damage, but having that Fox chipping away at the boar specifically and not getting caught up with the tier 1 wall in front of that boar, and then taking it out at the last minute. If Deadbones was able to hold off that assault, that eastern base might have been able to help him out, but Chip definitely with the stronger timing attack there. Yeah,
Chip from Space, first of all, getting the mind games right, that Deadbones would go for the boar rush, and then just having the Fox, he was ready, he knew how to deal with it, so I'm very impressed with his play, and then keeping most of his tier 1 alive until most of Deadbones' army was dead, and if it's just a boar, then the Fox can just run it down. Very, very nicely played. So let's see if the players switch it up. The first 3 units are exactly the same, and Chip is going to go for the Fox again. And we'll see if Deadbones switches it up. He's going to go for a Badger, it looks like. So for a patch that a lot of players call simply spam tier 1, I'm seeing quite diverse strategies against from these players.
Yeah, we know in the upcoming patch, which will hopefully be released on Monday, tier 2 is getting a huge buff, and we'll see if that affects tier 1 play as much as the developers are hoping. Chip from Space going with these mines again. They didn't really help him last time. How do you think his mine play has to change in order to get more done?
I think he gets just the right amount for Deadbones to worry about them, but he doesn't get too many mines in that they lose too much value. I think it's fine to have like 2 or 3 mines out on the map that don't really do anything, as long as your opponent is aware that you have mines and is sort of a little bit scared. Deadbones did opt to not take the Badger and instead go for the boar again. So it's close to a rematch. And so we have a game 2 in the series between Chip from Space and Deadbones. Chip is up 1-0 in a best of 5. Chip in the south of the map in green, and Deadbones has red for once in the east. My directions are always bad, but it's fine. Talk to me about this map, Captain.
All right, I'm seeing lots of bases spread out all over the map here. Deadbones, again, has not great options for expansion. He can go to the north. He's got a couple, 3 bases that are nicely protected because of that lake to the west. But Chip from Space, again, has a nice, easy, natural expansion off to the side. I guess Deadbones can take this base that's just to the south.
Hold up.
Zone.
We have a 5-farm boar.
Oh, no.
A 6-farm boar. This brings me back to when Tier 3 was originally buffed, and what people would do is go 5-farm Badger.
All right,
So, Deadbones, he's going to try it.
Chip has not spotted this yet. We'll
But
see.
he also has units, so this boar is going to be quite late because Deadbones, he's building some barbed wire, and he sold a farm in order to get his boar up. But it's still, Chip is going to have, oh, okay, never mind. Chip had Tier 1, decides to switch to snakes. So Chip did scout the boar. Okay, so he knows that there is a Tier 3 rush. And I think this is a correct play from Chip because 6 pigeons and 2 snakes will just out-heal the boar.
Chip does not have any melee troops. He has nothing to take down barbed wire right now.
This is also true.
I'm not sure if Deadbones knows because he can't see the unit tech. But if Deadbones just filled the entire map with barbed wire, Chip would be at a loss as to what to do because toads can't hit them anymore, and I don't believe snakes can hit barbed wire.
No.
Unless that was a bug.
Chip would have to go all the way to the left of the map, and he can't really do that. So this is going to be interesting. Chip has the economy lead because he did go up to 8 farms earlier. Deadbones has a single boar of pigeons, but he's not pushing because there's landmines which will obliterate the boar's health, and there's snakes. So it looks like Chip is just going to go through the barbed wire and be like, hey, I have pigeons. Come at me. So here we go. Boar is coming in. It is laying down fire on these units, and it's going to be, can the pigeons out-heal the boar fire? Looks like they can't, whereas the pigeons from Deadbones are out-healing the snake damage. But no, the poison is ticking, and this one squirrel DPS is actually going to tick down the boar. Not quite, because oh my god, the boar survives on 1 HP. Chip took down a warren, but the one we witnessed a single squirrel survive in an onslaught of fire because pigeon heals can stack.
Get that squirrel a medal. I think that was 4 pigeons healing 1 squirrel and 2 pigeons healing 1 boar, and the boar still couldn't out DPS.
Yeah, because
pigeons.
there were a couple of poison stacks on the boar, which almost did it. Deadbone's pulling back just in time. So where do we go from here? Chip looking to get an expansion. It's going to add in some extra pigeons. This is a crazy game.
Yeah,
Definitely.
even if he manages to, because snakes stack now, if I'm not mistaken. Is that correct?
Yes, snake poison stacks and pigeon heal stacks. So there's some interesting math there.
Yeah, if Chip can manage to tag that boar with enough poison, I
Which
guess so it's
nearly
8
happened that
2 per
game.
second. Yeah.
Nearly happened. So it looks like Chip is ready to go again. He doesn't really care about the barbed wire because he has 9 pigeons. So he can just push through if he wants to. Alright, he's not going to do it. Deadbones can't take this base because it's too close and there is high ground vision. Chip is going to pull ahead in economy just a little bit. This might come down to Chip getting his fox out if he wants to. Because Deadbones isn't getting any farms on his second base. And Deadbones is just... he sold a few pigeons, looks like. Well, he lost a warren and only replaced 1, so he's just getting some squirrels. And Chip, just getting some farms, and Deadbones is going to get some farms as well. So somehow the game looks fairly normal all of a sudden.
Yeah, Chip is a little bit in trouble. He is bringing his army around the outside. We'll see if he manages to hold this high ground from now on. So he's gone around that barbed wire. But if he doesn't manage just to break out, then Deadbones will have him. Yeah.
Dead Bones. Be very careful. Oh, but he's gonna pop them one at a time. He's gonna pop them one at a time and heal up the boar. But Chip is ready. Oh no, Chip is gonna pull back. Oh.
I think this is a mistake, honestly, from Chip.
Yeah, I think Chip could secure the high ground in the middle of the map and go from there, because I think he has a stronger army with this. With this many pigeons. Alright, so here we go. Chip is coming in. The snakes are gonna get healed. Dead Bones' squirrel count is dropping, but so is Chip from space, so it's just gonna be snakes against boar, it looks like, and there are 22 poison stacks on this boar, which is eventually gonna bring it down, but looks like Chip from Space's army is gonna get cleaned up as well. Who wins that? I have no idea.
Dead Bones on 11 farms, Chip from Space on 8.
Dead Bones is going to get the boar coming up again, so that's good for him. But at the same time, Chip does have his army replenished as well.
Yeah, Dead Bones fully fleshed out that expansion in the north there, and definitely came out on top in that last engagement. Looking at that army value graph, Dead Bones started out with less, but that boar taking out so many units all at once, the pigeons didn't know what to heal. So while Chip from Space dropping low, he is back on top in terms of army value. Dead Bones leveling out.
Because Dead Bones has to wait for his boar to come out before he catches up in army value. Now, Chip is just going to push with his barbed wire, loses 2 squirrels to it, 3. Okay, that's fine. He's going to try and push before the boar comes out. He's going to be in time. He's going to lose 1 snake, 2 snakes, so Chip's snakes are actually down, and Dead Bones is going to be able to clean this up with just squirrels, and then he gets a boar out. So, Chip is in a bit of trouble right here. Now, I don't know if Dead Bones know that there's more mines here. Yeah, he's going to try and tank it with the boar, but 1, 2, the boar is on 2 HP, the boar gets taken out, so the mines from Chip doing their job. Very nice minefield, but does he have enough army to defend this? Dead Bones has a lot of squirrels and pigeons, so Chip is going to lose a bunch of warrens, he's going to lose his expansion. Chip does not have tier 2 up right now, and I think Dead Bones just has too many units.
Main of Chip from Space going down in the last bastion of defense, sitting the squirrels in among those warrens. The warrens tanking a little bit of damage.
Doing what he can. Dead Bones' pigeons are mostly dead, so maybe this is enough. He has a bunch of landmines, but he's losing all his warrens, so if he runs into his landmines, okay, maybe. Dead Bones has to edge a little bit forward, but I don't think it's going to be enough, because Chip just lost all of his warrens, and they're... Oh, the landmines! But these pigeons are going to keep the squirrels alive, and Chip is just going to slowly lose his farms here, I think, because with this many pigeons... What a game.
Yeah, Chip was down to no units at the end there. Score is now 1-1.
And I think you were right in saying that the barbed wire definitely swung the game in Dead Bones' favor there, because it delayed. It just delayed Chip so much.
Yeah, definitely a mistake from Chip from Space, a newer player, but definitely is able to hold his own against some other players. I can assure you he's not going to make that mistake again. You only make that mistake once, and then you take melee forever.
Yeah, that's very true. Like, the barbed wire is not something you always expect. Well, that was... I did not expect the game to go like that when we saw the opening. Dead Bones going for 5-farm boar, and then... Yeah, it ends 7.5 minutes later with 3 squirrels and 3 pigeons taking out an infinite amount of pigs. What a game. That was great. So that ties up the series. It's best of 5, so we have 1-1 between Chip and Dead Bones. And let's see how it goes again. Chip doesn't want to believe in the boar anymore. It's going to go Fox again.
We'll see. Otherwise, unit composition is the same so far from Chip. Dead Bones taking lizards now. Instead of, I think he had toads last time. Oh, no, the barbed wire. Yeah.
Yeah, he had barbed wire. And Chip is not taking melee again, so maybe he doesn't believe that Dead Bones is going to go for barbed wire again. And he didn't, so maybe that's a good read. So we have Dead Bones in the west in red, and Chip in the northeast of the map in green. And for once, I want to say this map is favoring Chip from Space a bit more heavily than we've seen maybe in previous maps.
I think yet again, Dead Bones with not great expansion opportunities. One base in the middle of the map that he can expand to. Otherwise, he has to go, I guess, to the south is the best base for him to take from there. And Chip from Space again with the pick of the map.
South one is somewhat safe, I think. There's like a bit of a road that Chip could use if he scouts it as a base there. But yeah, if Deadbones wants a second base, he will have to push into the middle of the map on the low ground, so that's a little bit scary to do. But we'll see. No 5-farm board this time. No 5-farm Fox either. Deadbones going 7-farm Warren. Looks like Chip is going to go 8-farm. But Chip's base, although he has expansions, he has quite a few openings for lizards to come into, and Deadbones is going lizards with his first units.
And of course, lizards are very good on this patch. Going up to 3 to start with. Chip is just going to respond with those squirrels. We'll see if he gets toads out in time. Deadbones is going to have his lizards out a little bit early, so we'll see what kind of damage he can do with those squirrels, or with those lizards out so early. Of course, lizards doing a little bit better against squirrels in the beginning of the game, but once the squirrels start to stack up in numbers, they can fire from behind their comrades.
Chip's positioning is probably good enough here. He's placing his units like on top of his Warrens, and his Warrens are protecting his pigs, so it's going to be really tricky for Deadbones to do any damage here. And Deadbones is not going to go for an early push. Instead, he's going to go for an early boar. So game timer hasn't hit 2 minutes yet, and the tier 3 Warren is on its way. Let's see if Chip can respond in time. He has quite a bit of food, so he could go for the Fox if he wants to.
Yeah, Chip has not spotted it yet. We'll see how long it takes him to figure out that something is amiss. There he goes, putting down the Fox, though.
Yep, he placed the landmine, so his tier 3 was a little bit later, but with the walking distance, I think the Fox should come out just about in time, depending on how scared Deadbones is of these landmines, which he does scout. So, Deadbones does know that there is a tier 3 on the way, whereas Chip does not currently, I do believe. Nope,
Yeah,
he does not, but he's,
He went a little bit not far enough. He got caught up on that machine gun, which Deadbones has now gotten rid of in order to build that boar sooner. Boar is at about 1/4 health right now. Fox Warren just finished just now. He's starting to build.
Very nice timing from Chip. And again, both players supporting this with pigeons, and Deadbones does have the lizards to sort of pressure this Fox a lot better, I think. And Chip currently doesn't have the toads to really deal with it, but he does have landmines. So Chip has a very nice line he can retreat to if he so desires. Whereas Deadbones probably is going to try, and here he comes with his boar. Has a bunch of pigeons, has a bunch of lizards, and I think he's just going to try and close out the game with this.
Yeah, Deadbones jumping way ahead in terms of army value, was behind, but with that boar out, Chip's going to be hard pressed to match here. We'll see what these landmines do, though. One
Okay,
mine,
good damage, good damage. But the Fox is out in time. So now this Fox is going to start blinking away at the boar. The boar is going to fire away at the Warren, so Chip is going to lose 2 Warrens, it looks like. And now, can he take out this boar? He needs one more shot. He is going to take it out. Very nicely played from Chip from space, and Deadbones maybe not respecting the micro from Chip there.
Yeah, Deadbones actually lost his commander briefly and lost control of his boar, left it out in front there. So mistake from Deadbones there, or good micro from Chip.
And Chip definitely showing that he knows how to micro, bringing his Fox in the middle of his unit so he can't really get focused, and he gets healed up again. Deadbones' boar is on the way out again. Chip is adding on toads to support, to just deal with Deadbones' lizard army easily. Now it is 4 minutes and about 30 seconds. Deadbones looks like he wants to take a base here, which he does, and Chip has not expanded yet, instead opting to go for more Fox pressure. Oh, this is nice. He's going to strike a couple of farms here. But Deadbones might have an opportunity if he was fast enough with these lizards, because he can cut off this Fox, and this might be the end for the Fox.
Oh no!
4 HP, so that's 2 shots that Deadbones could have had. Very close, and with pigeons, that Fox is going to be full HP in no time. Deadbones are maybe a little bit too late on seeing and reacting to that. That was pretty insane.
All right, once again, Deadbones behind in army value. Chip from space just plinking away with that Fox there. Deadbones has put 3 farms in the south, so he's at 6 farms total to Chip from space's 4, because Chip has just expanded right now. Let's see if Deadbones can take advantage of that economic advantage.
He's trying to get up some pigeons to maybe deal with this Fox, but lost his commander again. So now Chip can take out these 2 pigs uncontested. He can't kill the farm that's on the construction because it counts as a structure. But Deadbones, what is he going to do? He's going to look to cut off this Fox. Oh, Chip is going to go the wrong way, and okay, does react in time. Doesn't want to contest on the road there. Deadbone's going to try and cut this off, but not going to make it in time. So Chip, with a very nice win there, taking out Deadbones' economy that he was trying to build up, and now Chip is going to be ahead again.
Yeah, Deadbones must be furious right now, losing, not being able to take out that fox twice.
Chip has to be a little bit careful. Okay, again, 4 HP. Cutting it really close, but, you know, pigeons are pretty good. So, Fox has had a lot of value, and meanwhile, Deadbones is on 1 farm. And he doesn't really have any food to do anything.
Yeah, Chip from Space pretty far ahead in terms of army value here. He's got about a third more, about half as much again, more than Deadbones. Just in squirrels, it looks like. Deadbones does have a fair
Chip
amount of
going
lizards.
down to that base again, but he's not home to defend against this. But the landmines actually did a lot of work there, because Deadbones lost most of his lizards, and now the Fox is just tearing away at Deadbones' army, and that is going to be Chip from Space taking game 3. And he's 1 game away from moving on to the grand finals to face Xeno. Deadbones is yeah, it's not. Apparently, the boar strategy is countered by the Fox, and Chip is playing it perfectly.
Chip from Space with 2, Deadbones with 1 in this best of 5 set. How does Deadbones respond to this? I mean, he's got this boar strategy, he's tried it a couple different times, but that fox coming out is just thwarted him every time. Does he go back to normal play, or does he try a different timing with that boar?
Yeah, I think Chip might have gotten into his head with making sure that Deadbones plays the boar every time and then having the fox ready for it. So now Deadbones is going to change it up. Looks like he's going for a fox of his own. But we'll see if the tier 3 timings are going to be as early as we've seen in these other games. Deadbones reconsidering his final pick. It's going to be the barbed wire, and again, Chip doesn't have a way of dealing with it, so the barbed wire could be a pretty big deal. But here we go. We have Deadbones in red, sort of in the middle of the map, near the east in red, and Chip in green to the northwest. A hill separating the two, and then a lot of empty land.
I will eat my words. I said that's the kind of mistake you don't make twice, and this is the second time Chip from Space is going to make this mistake, not having any kind of melee to take out barbed wire. We'll see how it goes, though. Deadbones, for once, with the pick of the map in terms of expansions, 4 on his side of the map. Chip from Space, a nice safe base to expand to in the north, but other than that, he's going to have to fight his way onto that high ground, which Deadbones could take control of.
I will say that this map isn't the greatest for barbed wire. The other one where we saw it, there was 1 choke point, and that was it, so barbed wire was really strong. But in this case, I think Deadbones is going to be fine. There's a landmine from Chip, pretty cheeky. It's going to get up because the pig isn't going to be done in time, so, you know, there's a landmine there.
Alright, Deadbones with the 7 farm squirrel, Chip from Space with 8 farm landmine.
Yep.
I guess that counts as a strategy.
It's a thing. He's watched Master Stealth.
Putting down those squirrels as his first unit. Putting down a second warren of squirrels there. Let's see how Deadbones responds here. Both players at 8 farms now.
Yep, so mine for a squirrel. It's whatever, both players lose 20 food. Okay, so Chip managed to sell that landmine just in time, so both players going for double squirrel. And Chip's gonna add in a third. Deadbones adding in a third, so we'll see where the game goes next. This high ground in the middle is gonna be the main battleground. We'll see how both players want to deal with this. Deadbones going for the aggressive expansion here.
And there we go. He's got 5 squirrels on that high ground. A Chip from Space is 7 right now. Chip's unit's a little bit closer there. Let's see if Deadbones can use this to tank. Use this mill to tank a little bit. There we go. Squirrel taking some squirrel shots.
Yeah, Deadbones has the mill to tank res units, but Chip has the shorter reinforcement distance, so there's something to be said for both players. Chip's going for the earlier pigeons, whereas Deadbones is going to go for 12 squirrels first before adding pigeons. And we'll see where the game goes from here. Chip has a lot of food, and he is going to go for a fox again. So fox timing for Chip from Space, whereas Deadbones is try and get some barbed wire up, but Chip does deny it, with Deadbones having to sell it.
Yeah, Chip from Space a little bit ahead in terms of army value right now, but just barely.
Yeah, because of
By
the
that one
mill.
squirrel,
But then
yeah.
he's going to drop behind as the fox slowly builds up. And we'll see if Deadbones goes for his own fox. I think he is. There we go. But Chip does have the advantage on this timing. Very interesting match so far. Deadbones, cheeky, getting the single farm. I think that's a good play. Takes out a few landmines. Okay. So a very minor advantage for Deadbones here, but Chip's Fox is on the way, whereas Deadbones' Warren is only halfway done.
There we go. Chip from Space Fox about a quarter of the way done. Deadbones Warren is about 3/4 of the way finished right now. How much damage can he do with this Fox in the time that it comes out?
It's definitely going to deny the farming from Deadbones, so Deadbones is going to lose some food there. But then I don't think Chip is going to have quite enough time to completely shut out Deadbones before Deadbones gets his own fox. So then it's going to be whoever controls the fox better, I think.
All right, here we go. Chip from Space's Fox is out on the field right now. Deadbones' Fox is about halfway.
Yeah, Chip is not wasting any time. He knows that there's timings that he has to hit, and yeah, it's going to start picking away at his units. It's about 60 food gone so far. That's 80, and here we go. Deadbones doesn't really want to take the fight. If he takes it, it's going to be at the mill, but the mill is not going to live. With the mill going down for Deadbones, so his investment is not going to pay off, and Chip is going to try and barrel through, but Deadbones has his own fox out right now. Although Chip has more units, Deadbones' fox taking one hit, and Chip can just sit on this high ground, and yeah, Chip has control now.
All right, are we seeing Chip from Space take the best of 5? We will see against Deadbones, and the Fox goes down.
But a snipe, there we go! The 360 no-scope, Deadbones slightly putting his fox too far forward. And that's it. Deadbones is out. Chip from Space. Just rolling through these brackets. He did it.
I'm astonished. I think that comes down to his amazing Fox micro there against the early board times, which we've seen be so devastating in other matchups. Definitely in Chip from Space's hand with that Fox as a counter. That Fox came out just in time every time to be able to take down those units. The combination of Pidgeots on both sides, they were able to keep both armies out long enough so that Fox could do as much damage as it needed to do.
Just Chip going for these aggressive tier 3 timings, and it pays off. It's just wonderful to see. Valentley, have you been watching these games?
Yes, I have. It's early tier 3 is. I guess I'm glad the next patch will be buffing tier 2 because we're really not seeing any of them.
Yeah, tier 2s definitely don't feel all that impactful.
But other than that, it's been pretty great games.
All right, going up against Xeno Acoop. Xeno Acoop, definitely a calculator of a player. If he retains his current edge, or that he had in previous tournaments, he knows exactly when units are supposed to be out. Chip from Space has had the advantage of timing a couple times. We'll see if that is switched around. If Xeno Acoop has the advantage of timing, and
I
how
think
Chip from Space deals with that.
Xeno had the timing advantage in his steers against Deadbones for the most part. And then when we have Chip versus Deadbones, again, it's Deadbones who's on the losing side of that. So now we'll have two players that favor an earlier tier 3 timing, so we'll see who maybe gets too greedy. But then I guess Deadbones did also win the one game where he got the boar first against Chip, because he went 6 farm boar, but that didn't quite win him the game. We do have a rogue Boomslang in the lobby. We'll have a bit of downtime as Chip takes 2 minutes to calm his nerves. That is to be expected after a series like that. And then whenever we are ready, we'll be heading into this best of 7. So I did not expect this to be the finals. I don't think anyone had expected this to be the finals.
It is
Yeah.
the finals we want, however.
It is
yeah.
definitely the finals we deserve.
Now, Chip from Space was in this position last week against Breepost. We'll see. He has a little bit of experience being in the finals match. We'll see if he can clinch the win here against one of the best players of Tooth and Tail, who already has a championship under his belt. Xenocoop, of course, making it to the top 4, if not the top 2, of almost every single tournament that we've been in so far.
Yeah, Xeno and Deadbones definitely some of the more consistent players we have. And then Chip showing his strength in these January tournaments so far. And we're just halfway, so I'm really excited to see where this goes.
All right, these grand finals will be a best of 7, so the players have a little bit more time than they did in the last matchups to try out different strategies. You might see a little bit more cheese here, but in general, mistakes don't mean quite as much as they did in the semifinals or round 3, or in the best of 3s before that.
Alright, so we will be heading into the picks, so I will hand off the casting to you, Captain Fog and Valently. Take it away.
Alrighty.
I'm certainly interested to see if Chip goes for the Fox first, anticipating Xeno to go for Boar. So we haven't yet seen someone try to counter a Fox.
Yeah, Chip going for those Falcons this time instead of Snakes like he's done a couple times in the past. Mirrored tier 1 units from both players, that Fox from Chip, and landmines again. So just switching out the Snakes for Falcons here.
Xeno almost correctly predicts what'll happen and wins the rock, paper, scissors. Hopefully it doesn't come to that.
All right, well, here we go. Those balloons are going to have problems, or give Chip problems with that Fox there, of course. They have the same range. But here we go into Game 1 of the Grand Finals of the January campaign, Week 2. This is your first standard tournament here. Xenocoop as Hopper Red in the north, Chip from Space as Green, the Quartermaster in the southwest. How you feeling about this map here, Valently?
I would give a slight edge to Chip in the early game and a much larger edge as the game progresses. The initial high ground is always a benefit. There's no going around that. But the rest of the other expands are... Xeno has 1 safe and 1 risky, and Chip has 2 safe.
Yeah, I love this base in the east here. 1 bridge to go across it, and otherwise surrounded by water. Very difficult to get to, but nowhere really to build units. Maybe 1 spot on the island in front of it. Xenocoop going for that 7 farm squirrel. Chip from Space going 7 farm into landmine like we've seen before. Well-placed landmine. And it looks like Xenocoop did not spot that landmine, so well-timed as well.
Very early expand from Xeno.
Yeah, what do you think he's trying to do with this early expansion here? Does he flesh out the units as much as possible and try and build up defenses, or go slowly?
Well, he's shown he doesn't need to get an early expand to get a fast tier 3, so I think what he might be making a play off of just Chip's playstyle, because Chip has not yet pressured. Whereas other players like Deadbones or Duff will look to start to make moves much earlier on in the match. This is just taking advantage of that. However, we're seeing Chip pressure almost for the first time today.
Yeah, Chip has spotted it. There he goes. He's taking that high ground there. Xenocoop using his commander to give his units high ground. Chip from Space with 7 squirrels. Xenocoop with 5 now. Those Warrens tanking some damage. We'll see Xenocoop losing his commander. Those squirrels do still have vision there. And Chip from Space now able to sneak in here. Xenocoop's commander back alive now. Chip from Space indecisive. That pigeon is out healing the squirrels up. Just going to keep picking at these Warrens here. Let's see what Xenocoop decides to do. He does have 6 squirrels now pushing in there. Pigeons aren't helping his case at all there, but reinforcements coming in. Hard to say right now. Pigeons trying to heal as much as they can, but Xenocoop slowly pushing his way out and on top of this high ground here.
It's a huge defense by Xeno.
So Xenocoop defending his early expansion here on 9 farms. The longer he's on, and going up to 10 farms now, the longer he has his extra farms, the more of an advantage he's going to have. So Chip at a definite disadvantage right now with just pigeons in trade for a base and now 3 farms, which Xenocoop can easily defend.
Waiting to see whether Xeno goes straight for the owl or gets a skunk. Because he does like his skunks. One of his favorite units. Up there with Ferret.
Deciding instead to go for 2 pigeon warrens.
And more squirrels.
Chip from space. Thinking about sneaking around the side, but his army would be cut off there. And Xenocoop with a definite strong advantage there with his squirrels hanging out in the middle of the warrens there. Going up to 18 squirrels now. Chip from space going up for 3 toad warrens. Count them, 3. As Xenocoop does have those pigeons out, but of course those toads do almost instant damage. So tough for pigeons to heal damage from toads if the toads can get down quickly enough in succession. Skunk's going out for Xenocoop though. Interesting choice considering he's seen that pigeons are on the field.
I think even against pigeons, skunks have a lot of value. It's like barbed wire. It's like even with pigeons, it's still a problem.
And Xenocoop throwing them that tier 3 owl warren. It's about halfway done right now. Chip from space not able, of course, with he does have his own expansion in the south here. He's just fleshed it out with 4 farms. Xenocoop's going to spot that right now.
He's going to make use of scouting to start attacking. Or no, he backs out. Just in time, too. I think Xeno knew what was up.
Alright, that tier 3 warren has finished, and there it goes. The owl is starting to build right now. Xenocoop on 9 farms.
We've hit the 5-minute mark. So.
Yeah. First 4 farms of each player's main base have farmed out, and Chip from space slightly behind. Xenocoop, of course, finishing out all of this expansion now. Chip from space has as well, but Xeno's had it for a little bit longer. Of course, as shown by that tier 3 out on the field.
When he sees this owl, he's just going to have to instantly sell those mines.
Yeah, of course, owls generate free mice. Now that owl's almost out on the field. There it is, out right now. The free mice, of course, able to take out those landmines fairly easily.
Xeno's placing a balloon. Certainly a very... I mean, he's looking to expand, that's why.
Well, there we go. Taking out, whoa, 5 mines with 2 mice. That shouldn't be possible.
That's 100 food.
Yeah. So that owl already paying for a lot of itself. Not quite all of it, about half of itself with those free mice there. And Xenocoop just going to expand here. And he can pretty much
Chip has started to build his fox now. Or, not started is the wrong word. He's almost done the fox warren.
There we go. He's building up enough food to start that fox immediately. Meanwhile, these mice are just going to harass. And I don't really know how Chip can come back from this.
Xeno's getting a far-off base. I think if you're up in food a lot, it's certainly a smart play to do just to see either slowly delay the person and block them from expanding or just see where their army is.
Those mice not quite doing as much. Enough squirrels to kind of fend them off, but the mines have been cleared from that side. Chip from space, I guess, could consider trying to get that fox up on that high ground to attack the pigs below, but he's only going to be able to take out 1 pig. And otherwise, Xenocoop just sitting pretty at this front base and is going to start creeping balloons closer and closer and closer. There we go. The fox is out now. It starts to pick away at some units, but the balloon of Xenocoop's is out. Fox takes 1 hit. There we go. Takes 12 damage, but the pigeons are right there to heal up, so not a huge problem.
Of course, the mice are just eating the shots of people. If the timing is in sync, he can... Mouse comes out just as soon as he comes this way.
Xenocoop on 15 farms, though, decides to go in. Owl in the front here. We'll see if it goes down. There goes the owl pops. The mice are down. Squirrels and pigeons dying all around. Toads go out.
That was, like, whether intentional or not, that was great play getting the toads to explode after the owl Owl dies.
So much skunk gas down on the field right now. Looks like the Pigeons are doing a fairly good job of healing up units and lots of reinforcements coming in. But of course, Xenocoop with those 15 farms has just enough reinforcements. Is able to take out that balloon from Xenocoop. Rough fighting here on this high ground. Both players do have vision. That Fox is dancing around in the back, has enough units to shield. But Xenocoop slowly pushing down. The gas is getting farther and farther out. The Fox is forced to retreat further and further back at about half health right now. Chip's
They
got to
found
be
the
very
Fox
careful.
Barn.
There we go.
One or two squirrels are hidden.
Fox Warren does go down. The Fox is about half health. So if the Fox does go down, Chip from Space is going to be hard pressed to replace it. Got to be careful that sniper balloon as well. Rough fight. And I got to say, Xenocoop coming ahead definitely on that. Chip trying to pick away at some of these pigs with that Fox there. Is able to take down 3. I'm just going to start taking out the units. But there we go, able to pull
Xeno
back.
has started
just in time.
building on this Dead Bones base.
Dead Bones base. I think this spells the end. The Toad's going off. Those Pigeons are there to heal up anything that doesn't get taken out completely.
It's not even waiting for the owl. He's just might have been a big mistake.
Yeah, he does have 13 farms, and Chip from Space is 8, and Chip from Space is going to have to expand fairly soon, as his farms are going to start farming out on that expansion. The Owl is back out there. Toad's actually taking out a lot of squirrels there, but the Owl is back out. The Owl explodes 6 mice now down on the field. One last landmine does a little bit of damage, but not quite enough, taking out a lot of the meat shield from squirrels for that Fox there. Fox still dancing around, taking out a lot of units, but it's very low on health now, about a quarter health. Pigeon's still there to heal it up, but Xenocoop's units just pushing in. He's got so many farms, so much reinforcement now. Warren after Warren is falling down, unfortunately, for Chip from Space.
At this point, it's not like losing the 20 food every 2 seconds to the Fox is like with the econ lead, doesn't matter that much. It's more about forcing just forcing all of Chip's food to go directly into the army he has now and not being able to expand again or build up more army.
Chip from Space has now picked off every farm on the first expansion of Xenocoop. But of course, Xeno has that expansion to the east. Chip from Space, we did hit that mark where his expansion is now almost completely farmed out. So Chip from Space down to 2 units right now. It's going to have to, I don't know that this Fox can pick away enough, even if he picks for the rest of time. Xenocoop, as you said, can just afford to reinforce as much as he wants. And here he goes, going in for the death blow. Squirrels coming in here. Toads are going to come down. It's a fair number of toads and takes out a good chunk of squirrels, but 14 still left on the field for Xenocoop and his own toads coming out there. The Fox is still alive, to Chip from Space's credit, but Chip is starving at 45 seconds right now. The Fox does go down, just barely. And
That'll
Chip,
be game.
of course, yeah, GG. Xenocoop taking the first match in this best of 7 set. GG.
Yeah, very close game. Like a lot of those fights could have gone either way. It was just like slight advantages.
Definitely that Fox micro from Chip from Space was as good as we saw it, if not better than his matches with Dead Bones. But Xenocoop being able to defend that early expansion, that first early defensive fight, definitely swung things in his favor. Here we go. We'll go into the second match shortly here. How do you think Chip is going to have to change his strategy here in order to combat an opponent like Xenocoop, who can take advantage of your every move and knows how much food is in your bank, even without seeing the number?
Well, I think even if you do scout at the right times, like you have to be very precise to not have a 20-second window of where your opponent has the board before you expect it. I'm expecting Chip to return to his... I mean, I didn't get back in time to see the draft, but I'm expecting Chip to go for boar this time. Just because I think Xeno's playstyle is he will try not... He does not... I don't think he wants to go for a fox if he can help it. And if it's boar versus boar, you have a much better fight. And boar, of course, does better against owl than fox. Oh, they're just...
There we go.
in the drafting stage now.
Just into the drafting stage right now. There we go. Xenocoop getting that same tier 1 combination that works so well for him in Ferret's signature unit for Xenocoup. Xeno is one of the starters of the Ferret micro, dancing around back when they had splash damage, which of course they don't now. Chip for Space going for 4 tier 1. Oh, nope, just 3 tier 1s. I was going to go for 4.
Chip is returning to Lizard, which is something we expected him to play for a long time. That's what, when he first came onto the team like 2 weeks ago, he was playing a lot of aggressive Lizards.
All right. Chip from Space going for those chameleons. That's a little bit different than what we've seen before. Xenocoup as Red Hopper in the west. Chip from Space as Green Quartermaster in the northeast. Score is currently 1-0 in favor of Xenocoup. Xenocoup with 1 game. Chip from Space with none in this best of 7 set. Here we go. How you feeling about this map, Valantley?
I think it slightly favors Xeno, but that slight doesn't matter too much. The big thing is if Chip can secure a second base. If he can do that, it doesn't really, I don't think the map matters too much. It really comes down to where he decides to secure it. If he goes to the north, that's probably the easiest one to secure. However, it is near high ground and it doesn't leave the opportunity to expand southward. But if he can get a south base, that would be much trickier. But if he does, I think he have a better shot getting more bases should it come to that.
All right, Chip from Space going with that 7 farm into a very nicely placed mine here out in the front of Xenocoup's base. So probably will take down the first squirrel that runs by that. Might not do too much more. But gives Chip a little bit of vision and scouting. Xenocoup going for that 7 farm Warren play into 2 Warrens of squirrels. Chip from Space going into lizards. Of course, lizards doing a little bit better against squirrels in the early part of the game. It should help a lot. There we go. Taking advantage of that high ground, Chip from Space that's going to make a difference. If he can control that. Does have that mine on top there, of course.
Is going for the toads. He's not going to be playing games with seeing how many squirrels he can get away with.
Alright, Xenocoup going up to 9 squirrels and 6 toads. Chip from Space going pure lizard into chameleons. Looks like he's going to get some chameleons out. That's going to be... They're going to be able to tank a lot of damage from those toads, I guess. But we'll see if those ferrets start coming out. They're going to be in trouble if the chameleons meet them in the middle of the field.
There's certainly a large possibility space with chameleons. However, they are much trickier than one would think to utilize efficiently. And I'm not quite sure if against toads you want chameleons.
All right, that mine does explode, takes down 1 squirrel, does a little bit more damage, but Pigeon is now out, so that damage will be quickly healed. Xenocoup taking advantage of the high ground there. Squirrels from Chip from Space not quite going in yet because those toads are in front. The chameleon is out in front. Gets taken down by squirrels, so Xenocoup with amazing toad micro stops them.
Just dancing around. Chip has decided he's not going to engage.
There we go. 2 toads now. Unfortunately, spawning at a bad time for Chip from Space, who tried to sneak around there to the side, but got taken out by just reinforcements. Not looking good for Chip from Space in this game, too. 2 chameleons are out on the field, and they've been kind of streaming in one by one. There we go. Toads out now. One of them gets taken out. The second one just falls to squirrel fire. More toads reinforcing and taking out lizard after lizard. 1 Warren is now down. Chip from Space only has a Warren of lizards left, plus pigeons. And there we go. Xenocoup taking a convincing second game.
The toad dance to stop the lizards from ever attacking, but taunting them into trying to, was very good on Xeno's part. But I think a large part of this map just came down to the fact that Xeno was lucky enough to have 2 toads go off, resulting in 2 reinforcements of toads, which then won him the game.
Unless, of course, he did that on purpose. That would be. I would not be surprised if Xenocoop was able to time that.
Yes, kudos to Xeno. That's quite an amazing play. Both anticipating the wraparound and acting in an optimal way to deal with it.
Alright, no more lizards for Chip from Space. Instead, going with that nice tier 1 build that we've seen work for so many players so far. Both players going for Pigeon, Squirrel, Toad, Falcon, actually mirroring all the way up to their tier 2s and tier 3s. So we'll see some Falcon battles this time. Chip from Space with that boar, going to be able to take out a lot of squirrels all at once. Pigeons are going to counteract that. But Xenocoop again with those ferrets. We'll see if he gets to dance them around like we know he loves to do so much.
Tier 3 on Xeno's side, so I'll have to see if Chip from Space can take advantage of that. Of course, he doesn't know, but he might figure it out.
This map is a big old donut. Nice bases around the outside and nothing in the middle.
Xeno has a bit of a ways to walk to get to an expand, unless he wants to be super aggressive.
Yeah, if he can manage to hold that high ground there. Actually, he's going to have to hold that high ground, or Chip from Space can take advantage of it with those squirrels. Of course, if he sits on the high ground just northwest of Xenocoop's main base. There we go. 7 farm into Squirrel. Chip from Space going for another sneaky mine. We'll see Xenocoop not quite going to scout it. Oh, but his Warren is close enough to be able to scout it, so he's going to know that there's a mine there if you look at his mini-map.
This looks like I'm expecting Xeno to go for a 1 base all in, just because of the nature of how tricky it will be to. And actually, I think you could get the bases in the south, but even though it doesn't feel as safe as one wants for an expand.
Alrighty, well, both players at 8 farm. Chip from Space going for pure squirrels with that 1 mine still sitting out there in front. Xenocoop going to go for those pigeons instead, and also squirrels. Xeno going for fairly regular times tier 2, getting those ferrets out, but before any engagements. See how that goes against the pure squirrel army. And they're going to be able to dance and take out a fair number of squirrels as long as Chip doesn't push in to take them out.
Ferret plus pigeon is actually surprisingly good, just because it allows the ferret to do some big damage against tier 1 armies, whereas usually it's too fragile to pull that stuff off.
Ooh, but Chip with the tier 3 going to put down that boar there, going to skip tier 2 entirely. So Xeno's going to be hard pressed. That boar can tank a lot of shots even from those ferrets. Xeno throwing down some falcons now. We'll see Xeno not quite getting back there.
He knows to look for where to look.
There we go. He sees it and is able to. Oh, not quite burrow back. He's going to lose his commander. That's okay.
I think it's worth losing commander to get that information.
Oh, yeah.
However, it does add, 30 seconds of the 120 needed for. Oh, no, sorry, 80 seconds. It's 40 and 40, isn't it? The 80 seconds needed for the boar to come out.
All right, the boar is going. Xenocoop is pushing out right now. He's got that pigeon vision into the high ground. So there he goes. Going to start picking at Warrens. And Warren does go down. The squirrels now meeting in front. Squirrel versus squirrel, and that falcon out in front there doing a lot of damage, scaring Chip from Space away.
If you can't deal with that falcon, it's going to be big trouble.
Boar's about 3/4 health out right now. We'll see if Chip from Space can get it out in time. Meanwhile, the ferret's picking away on that high ground. 2 Warrens down, and a farm also down, and now starting to shell those squirrels. Of course, squirrels can just move out of the way. Putting up a nice machine gun in the way. The boar is out row right now. We'll see how Chip from Space can use this to his advantage. And his army's got 5 pigeons, so able to heal up pretty quickly. Those falcons are going to be a lot of danger for that badger, though, or for the boar.
See how good the ferret micro is. So far, it's been able to push him off in it.
Chip creeping around the outside. Xenocoop starts to take the bait, then pulls back. A little bit of a fake out. And Chip from Space just bleeding units to these machine guns right now, unfortunately.
Into the ferrets.
Yeah, and a couple of squirrels.
He is expanding, so he used the tier 3 to secure and expand. So not what you want to have happen, but
I think
it
it's probably his best option right now if he can keep having units reinforced quickly enough to counteract those ferret shots. Each ferret shot that lands does take out a squirrel.
he's built all of his machine guns right next to each other.
Oh no.
That's not.
Yeah, that flamethrower. Oh, there we go. Selling a couple of them, just in case. The flamethrower
Yeah,
would
just
have
wanted
a fair number of damage.
May just have wanted to get at least one to stick and was willing to lose it was 2 or 3.
Ooh, chip for space around the outside right now. Xeno Coop taking advantage of that, picking away at some of the farms at the main base. In the middle of the donut, chip for space moving to the south.
Chip for space bought every expand on the way.
So going for a base race now. Here we go. He knows that Xeno Coop only has 2 expansions. Attacking from the south, he's going to have to get the space and get out as soon as he can, or rely on reinforcements to take through. Xeno Coop is just going to sit back here and let that base go down. Strangely here we go, trying to catch this army in the back there, but Chip for Space is just going to start pulling out. So Xeno Coop on 4 farms, Chip for Space on 5, with 4 bases, and Xeno Coop has to defend this front one, but he's got so many machine guns up front there. It's going to be a little bit difficult, and Xeno Coop almost fleshing out his entire expansion. There we go, Chip from Space taking out more and more Warrens as we go here.
Does Xeno know that it's not going to be a good base race?
I don't know. Xeno's going to bite for the base race, going in for this last base, which he thinks is the last one. His units are going to be able to come back here.
Just fast enough to be able to back in time.
Ooh, I don't know if it's going to be in time. Squirrel's melting. There we go. He's going to get the boar out if he can. Those pigeons aren't able to stop quite quickly enough. There we go. They're on the roads to get a little bit of a speed boost. But so many units chasing this one boar and 2 pigeons now. Hiding in the background there. 5 farms. This is going to be the last stand for Chip from Space, who's now starving. That base does go down. The boar is down now as well, and there we go. GG. Xeno Coop taking game 3 in the best of 7 here. 3-0 is now the score for Xeno Coop. 1 more, and he's won this entire tournament. Or at least week 2. How does Chip come back from that?
That's going to be one of the more demoralizing losses. You get the boar out, and the counter to the boar is just, oh, I can't micro you. That's pretty painful. A side note, however, is if you just abandon the boar and go for, like, say, go for an owl, like that, like just go for something rather unexpected that you haven't done yet, I think you could have a very good chance of, like, coming back.
All right. We're going to go into this final map draft here. I didn't quite make it back in time. So, Lantley, you're going to take this one.
So, Chip is going for Squirrel Toad as the standard has been, and Xeno is going Lizard. Of course, they can change their mind at any moment, so... Yeah, and Chip is going Wolf. That is something new. Toad, Squirrel, Ferret, Wolf, Falcon. Xeno going for the same draft as last game. And we're into the match.
All right, here we go. Xeno Coop in the north as Hopper. Chip from Space in the west as the quartermaster in potentially the last game of Clash of Comrades, the January campaign, week 2, the first standard tournament. Xeno Coop just shy of winning his second major tournament here. See how it turns out here. Both players taking those ferrets. I'm interested to see how Chip's going to deal, or is going to put that wolf up. Or he's going to use it to buff his own farms to get food faster, or to buff his units for more damage, or faster speed.
I think
more damage.
Buffed Falcons are one of the sleeper, very powerful units. Because they're already very, like, they're on the edge of being broken kind of thing. where, especially this map where where Xeno doesn't have, or this draft where Xeno doesn't have the best counters to Falcon. Or it's like he can build defensive structures, or he could build his own Falcon. That's really what he needs to do to deal with them. And that's not flexible enough if you manage to get a ball of Falcons going, buffed by wolves that could easily be able to engage, which last time he wasn't able to.
A little bit of a commander dance going around in the middle of the field there. Once those Falcons come out for Chip from space, that high ground advantage that Xenocoop has of his main base is going to go away. And Chip is going to be able to start picking away at those farms at Xeno's base. But Xeno's going to expand there.
He was waiting to see what units came out, and because he saw it was Squirrel, he knows that as a unit, it's much harder to pressure it. So he's going to expand, make use of the fact that there'll be at least a minute or so before Chip is ready to attack. Or ready to attack and actually be a threat to what Xeno has.
Alright, throwing down a machine gun to try and defend against the attack that he knows is coming fairly soon. 6 squirrels there are going to defend as well. That base is down. Xeno going to throw down some Falcons. We'll see if they get out in time.
Chip going to reverse the trend of last game and going for ferrets. He saw what happened and wants to return the favor.
He does have a lot of high ground that will help those ferrets get out, and if Xeno relies too much on that machine gun, or machine guns in general like he did last game, those ferrets from Chip from space will be able to start plinking away at a lot of food that Xenocoop has put down and committed to. Here we go, pigeons going down for Xenocoop. Chip from space almost getting his second ferret out just now. Xenocoop starting to fill out this expansion here. And Chip has not responded yet with an expansion of his own, so going to see if he can push and do enough damage in order to negate the expansion of Xenocoop.
This ferret certainly makes it a possibility to put a lot of pressure on. And Xeno sells the farms, basically giving up the base.
Oh, and he just barely missed selling that last farm up there, so he does lose an extra 60 food that he didn't have to. Just barely missed the timing there. But 2 Falcons out now for Xenocoop. Chip from space, backing off with those 2 ferrets. He does have toads out now. That is going to help against that army of squirrels there. But those Falcons will be a big danger. Not affected by those ferrets, and not affected by the toads either. And here they go. Falcons pushing away, getting buffed by those pigeons there. But all the squirrels beneath them getting taken out. The last pigeon does go down for Xenocoop, but enough Falcons pull out. Yeah.
Both armies are decimated by that. However, I think Xeno pulls slight ahead, having 2 tier 2s left.
Yeah,
Chip is
forced to sell a couple of Warrens in order to reinforce. There he is, forced back into his own base. Doesn't have high ground vision, so he's got to use his commander there. The Falcons, again, that one Falcon running way into the middle of the fight. Not sure why it did that. The second Falcon also going down. And the remaining squirrels forced to retreat due to those toads from the base of Chip from space. Xenocoop trying to get that mill there to tank a few shots. We'll see. It gets taken down almost as soon as he builds it. But the damage might have been done. The first volley goes off to Xenocoop. Now it's Chip from space running back across the field to the nice high ground safety.
Chip had 1 toad, and if it had gone off, he could have pressured, but it was killed. And he's forced to retreat.
And Xenocoop has sold his Falcon Warren in order to build this expansion here. Chip from space has not expanded either, and we just hit that 5-minute mark just now. So those first 4 farms of each player's base have farmed out. Xenocoop slightly ahead as Chip from space built this expansion a little bit after Xenocoop did. And Xenocoop now throwing down 3 farms, so going to have that economic advantage.
And ferrets of his own.
So Xeno saying you could play ferrets, but I can play them better. Although Chip was forced to sell his ferrets in order to expand. Fortunately. So the tables have turned. All Chip has to do now is get those Falcons out, and we'll have a complete reversal of units. There you go.
I think both players are just content to let their economies recover before they start moving out.
Army value slightly in favor of Xenocoop at this current moment, but Chip from Space throwing down a lot of farms on his expansion, hoping to push through the disadvantage he have. Xenocoop is going to spot this just now. He's probably going to fill out an expansion of his own. Going to get taken out there. When he did call his units over, right as he was dying, so his units are all now on the high ground. Chip from Space retreating, unfortunately. Might have been a chance to take out some units, but not quite realizing that Xeno was dead. Xeno filling out his expansions there to try and match the 9 farms that Chip from Space has now. And it's going to be a little bit behind in terms of economy.
I don't think it's enough to really say he's completely behind, but it is notable. The fact that Chip going up to 21 squirrels.
All right, those ferrets shooting from just in the middle of a nice buffer of squirrels, starting to fall behind a little bit as they take shots, and those toads are scaring Xenocoop from taking a straight fight with the fact that he has those ferrets. He can just keep dancing them back and forth, taking out units. Chip from Space has no pigeons this time. Xenocoop relying on his pigeons. And going up to another warren of squirrels, just going to keep pushing with those squirrels there. Pushing further out onto the map, taking that expansion. Natural, nice expansion to expand to.
Well, it's also like he's looking to take control of this middle high ground, and if he does that, he can win the game. Getting expand there certainly helps with that. I don't think it's a straight he wants more farm expand.
There we go. The toads are in. Chip from Space has said that he's had enough, but only one toad goes down. A lot of squirrels going down from Xenocoop, and it looks like Chip from Space is going to be able to take out this expansion here. There's a lot of squirrels there.
He got one ferret, which was pretty... I mean, it's not really key, but it is very notable, and like that 60 food
Yeah.
Army value just goes down.
It is very important. Both players on similar economies right now, 8 and 8. Chip from Space up to 21 squirrels. Xenocoop only on 14. Instead, trying to go for those ferrets, who's got to keep pushing these ferrets in order for them to get that value.
Chip is looking to build a wolf.
We go to the warren.
Warrens.
Yep. Warren is down in the middle of the field there, continuing to be contested there. Those ferrets are going to stop Xenocoop from falling completely behind.
I don't see what Xeno can do against a wolf. Chip can get this out. It'd be turn of the tides.
Ooh, 2 toads go down, 3 toads go down. One of them getting taken out by squirrels, and the ferret does go down. The last squirrel from Xenocoop also getting taken out, so just a machine gun defending his mining or his farming base right now. So Chip from Space, surprisingly, coming ahead here. That wolf is going to start building.
He had to sell some warrens to make sure it started building, taking a fight right before it finishes. One way to guarantee you won't have the food for it.
Xenocoop just building another ferret now. He's a little bit supply blocked. That wolf from Chip from Space now almost 3/4 of the way out. We'll see what that does. Is he going to have super toads? Is he going to have super squirrels? Is he going to have super farms? Chip from Space on 10 farms now, putting down 3 more. Xenocoop's going to have to think about expanding or ending the game. There he does. He has expanded in the east there. 1 farm down. Could Xenocoop be a little bit rattled? The wolf is out now. There we go. Super squirrels out in front there, taking down unit after unit. This wolf runs into the middle of the combat here. Toads going down.
Wolf just dances forward to the middle of fray.
Gotta be careful there. Wolf down to about 1/4 health there, but a lot of damage done again from Chip from Space. Xenocoop losing almost his entire army. And Xenocoop in a little bit of a rough position now. Chip from Space going to use that wolf to start buffing his pigs. He's going to start to pull way ahead in terms of economy.
He definitely was able to pull slightly ahead with that fight, but now the wolf buffing his economy on top of just taking and just slightly winning that fight is going to be massive. If Xeno realizes this and goes in.
Team on the high ground for the last stand there. Toad after toad going down. 3 toads again going down. The wolf buffing as many units as it can. And Xenocoop losing the last squirrel on that high ground. The reinforcements straggling in, going to get taken down. And Chip from Space is going to take a game off of Xenocoop. There we go. Score is now 3-1 in favor of Xenocoop. Chip from Space got to win 3 games in a row if he wants to win this tournament.
He also was very clever with his wolf micro because it went down to half HP like 3 times, and that's enough to kill off 6 squirrels.
Mhm.
Well, maybe not 6, but I haven't done the math yet.
All right, into the map draft of Game 5 of the Grand Finals Best of 7 of Clash of Comrades January campaign, Week 2, first standard tournament. Xenocoop going for that owl. Worked pretty well for him the last time he used it. Barbed wire again. We'll see if he can catch Chip from space off guard. Ooh, deciding not to take that barbed wire. Chip from space again, not with any melee units right now. And if Xenocoop locks in that barbed wire, which it looks like he has at the moment, Chip from space is going to be in a lot of trouble.
Luckily, with the wolf, they will walk faster through the barbed wire, but it'll be super late game. Or super early, depending on how Chip plays. You have seen him rush tier 3.
All right, locking in that machine gun turret. So Chip from space with nothing to attack barbed wire against Xenocoop, who has that barbed wire and definitely knows how to use it. He's an experienced and seasoned player. Into Game 5 of this best of 7 set, we've got Xenocoop in the west as red as Hopper. Chip from space in the east on an awful island base. Well, maybe not awful. Let's see how he uses it as the quartermaster in green. How do you feel about this, politely?
I think the
island
big
base
thing to notice is not that it's so much hurts him in terms of like favorability, it just limits what he can do. I think he can only get up to like 6 warrens before he has to expand, which is pretty bad if he wants to do in just one base aggressive stuff.
Where does he expand from that base there? Does he go north? Does he go south? Does he go middle?
He goes north because that's the way you'd walk. And it provides the most land. If he goes south, he doesn't actually get that much more warren space.
Yeah. Xenocoop, in the meantime, with a lovely expansion, a natural expansion to the west of his main base.
Also a great map for barbed wire.
Yes. Chip from space, putting his warrens out in the front there. Gonna be a nice place to put them, defend, and make sure he can take that base out in front. Make sure he doesn't get locked in. Xenocoop could go for a crazy little strategy of blocking off because he doesn't have that barbed wire. Decides not to go there. One piece of barbed wire down in front. Xenocoop going for squirrels. Chip from space going for squirrels. We've got squirrels on squirrels.
And Xeno just expands here, seeing the expand. As I said earlier, Xeno does not think that squirrels are enough to pressure on their own. So rather than try to contest that, he goes and expands.
There we go. Chip from space up to 6 squirrels. Xenocoop just getting his 6th out now. More barbed wire creeping across the map. Chip from space isn't going to attack into here. He sees 2 warrens. He sees some squirrels out. So he must figure that Xenocoop has expanded, as he has in previous games. Remember, if Chip loses this game, Xenocoop wins the tournament and becomes your Week 2 champion.
Both sides econing up, and Chip goes to 9 squirrels, but I don't think he's going to be able to attack until he gets a lot more army.
All right, Chip has scouted that expansion now. We'll see how he responds. He's going to put a machine gun turret up in front and put one more farm down. So he's going to have to pressure very quickly. Xenocoop up to 16 farms and Chip from space is 12. And that barbed wire is going to prove a little bit difficult for him, especially assaulting onto that high ground. Chip's going to, while Chip does have a little bit of a control over this neck here, Xenocoop is going to have a huge advantage here. Getting those 16 first.
Again, continuing the theme of thinking that Chip can't attack, has placed an L Warren, which puts Chip in an awkward position where he has to somehow use his limited space and resources and be able to push through.
And on top of all that, Xenocoop grabbing that southern base as an expansion, so even if Chip from space manages to lock him in his base, Xenocoop will have a nice Dead Bones expansion in the south. Difficult to get to for Chip from Space.
Chip is going for the wolf, which I think will do well against the owl, as you can use your buffed units to snipe down the mice before they get to you. And certainly, but he can't really know what tier 3 Xeno is going for if he predicts he is going for 1, so it could be from Chip's perspective, it's quite a risky play, but
All right, Owl at about 3/4 right now. Going for Skunks. Xenocoop's next move. Chip from Space does have those pigeons, but they won't completely counter that skunk gas, of course. 15 squirrels on Chip from Space's side, going up to 15 for Xenocoop. Moving out now with that owl there. Xenocoop is very much ahead in terms of army value. And
Chip's going for a second wolf.
Oh no. I don't think Xenocoop has not scouted that main base in a long time. Does not see that second tier Warren, tier 3 Warren is going up. So we'll see Chip from Space may be able to pull ahead with this. Xenocoop on 20 farms, Chip from Space on 16.
Xeno is going for a second owl as well.
Oh. Both players with a lot of food in the bank. That first wolf is out there. Second wolf is about 1/4 done. The second tier 3 Warren is out for Xenocoop. Second owl is building. 2 owls versus 2 wolves. This is going to be quite a showdown in the middle here. Nice skinny bridge there and 3 machine guns from Chip from Space. Xenocoop is just going to take that southern expansion again. Going to keep expanding.
Chip is going up to 6 falcons, which I think are the best unit Chip can ask for against owls.
Against owls. And also those skunks there. The skunks, of course, can't hit the falcons in the air. The falcons fly above that skunk gas. So we'll see. Chip from Space might be able to pull this off here. Xenocoop has a lot of food in the bank, going for 3 owls.
I think he's just content to wait it out and see what works.
All right, machine guns versus mice there. The mice get taken out, but take down 1 Warren in return there. So a little bit of the meat shield is gone. This is going to be an enormous clash.
Let's hope both competitors have up-to-date computers, because Xeno is going up to 4 owls.
Let's hope we have a computer that's powerful enough to stream this.
Yeah. Hopefully the viewers will get to see what happens.
4 owls. Xenocoop's going to go up to right now. And that's getting to the point where you can just kind of stream mice. That's 4 mice every few seconds coming out.
So Chip has sent his falcons in without the rest of his army.
Oh, here we go. The main army's clashing in the middle here. The wolves a little bit behind now. Now buffing everything in sight. The falcons forced to return a little bit, but there's hitting some of the bases on in the meantime. They do take out 1 fully farming base from Xenocoop. But so much skunk gas now in the middle. That's a lot of farms that Chip from Space is going to lose out on. Both wolves are still out there. A lot of red gas down on the field. All the owls are done. 1 owl reinforcing right now. The falcons coming in from the side now, and unaffected by that skunk gas, able to take out all of Xenocoop's army.
And the buff falcons come through.
Now the falcons, buffed falcons, flying at lightning speed across the map. Chip from Space saving these 2 wolves here. And Xenocoop's in a lot of trouble.
Xeno had a great play by buying that expand right there, because it meant that the falcons, when they came up to reinforce, attacked that instead of his army. But when as soon as they got buffed by the wolves, it just completely changed, and it didn't matter that they weren't attacking. They were able to more than make up for it.
All right, base going down, and Xenocoop knows he's got to meet the army in the middle here. The falcons out in front. They are buffed. 2 wolves. 2 owls running into the mix. 1 goes down. The second one hasn't been targeted yet. There it goes. It is down now. But Xenocoop has so many squirrels out on the field. The wolves forced to run away.
He's taken down all the falcons.
All the falcons down. Wolves forced to sit there. And Chip from Space is now starving. Unfortunately, it looked so promising for Chip from Space. Xenocoop also on 1 farm. So if Chip from Space can use his last units carefully, he might still have a chance here.
Both players are starving now.
There we go. Both players starving. Chip from Space going to starve a little bit sooner there. Xeno Coop going to push in. We'll see if it goes down to the clock here. About 10 seconds separating these starving timers. And Chip from Space is going to try and pick off units if he can. He's getting stuck in the water there. They are running very quickly through the water. And Chip from Space
chasing them.
Chip from Space does not have another base, so if this goes down, he loses. 26 seconds left on the clock, and there we go. Xeno Coop is your champion in a nail-biter of a last match. 4-1. Your champion for the January campaign, Week 2. GG.
Yeah, I had no idea how that last match was going to end. I honestly had Chip winning it with those buffed Falcons, but Xeno able to econ out the massive Falcon or Owls. Great play from both players. Like, the score in this final does not reflect the skill that was shown by both of them and how equal they were.
What a series. That was really fun to watch, actually.
I definitely want to save that replay of that last match and just watch it over and over again. This is just, that's a roller coaster. Double wolf against 4 owls. That was absurd.
Yeah, it looked really good for Chip when he cleaned up most of Xeno's Tier 1 army, and then his Falcons came in late to the fight, and they did so much work. It was incredible to see, but then unfortunately in the following up fights, Chip just couldn't quite keep his Falcons alive against the overpowering number of squirrels that Xeno had.
Like, even the play of just sending the Falcons down and then it forces Xeno to think, oh, I'm being attacked, I need to attack now, his army's out of position. Like, that's not something we see very often.
Yeah, poor Chip from Space, unfortunately for the second time, having victory just barely taken from his grasp.
But he took the series against Deadbones, which was very nice to see. I did not think that the finals we've seen today would be so close. And yeah, so all things considered, I did not think Deadbones would get knocked out. I did not think Chip from Space would make it all the way to the finals, and he did. And then this was, yeah, just a great amount of games to watch, high quality, tooth and tail, and I think we have Xeno Coop ready for us for a winner's interview. Xeno Coop, how did you beat Deadbones?
That is a great question, and I'm not entirely sure.
Okay, I think we had it down to whoever built Tier 3 first. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, so I got killed by some very silly, like, early T3 timings, and I was like, well, that's unfortunate. And then I died to, like, a very fast lizard play that I just was a scouting error. After that, I knew I had to win out. I was pretty confident that I would make it back to the finals, but it would definitely be an advantage not to have to play more games before going back to face Deadbones.
I think Deadbones also was pretty confident he'd make it back.
Yeah, I wasn't super confident once I was down 0-2. We just managed to barely win a couple of games in a row, like some super close games through there, and managed to get up into the final spot.
Yeah, the reverse sweep against Deadbones was really great to watch. Like, it seemed like you had just figured out how to win, and Deadbones just couldn't quite figure out how to beat the strategy. So, enough about that series. The games against Chip were surprisingly close, in my opinion. How'd you feel? Like, you, the first game was fairly stable, and then once you lose the one game, do you think, like, okay, this is a series now, or do you think I can just play my standard game and I should be able to take this?
So the games were obviously a lot closer than the score indicates, right? Like, I think everyone agrees that 4-1 does not do this series justice at all. Chip's an amazing player. Really understands this current patch really well, even though that's changing. But, you know, I still think going into the next patch, he'll be fantastic. Won the first 3 games pretty solidly. I felt like a couple back and forth games, but a lot of them where it was like, oh, he's doing X, I know how to beat that, I'll do it. Victory. Okay, on to the next game. But then, yeah, the game that I lost was super close. I made a huge number of blunders, so did he. Very back and forth game. I think that was probably maybe one of the highlight games of the tournament. Just super razor thin game through there. And then that last game was just huge economy nonsense. I actually didn't know there was a base over there, so I thought I had him dead, but he just had that extra base. So really, really interesting games, I felt. Was a lot of fun to play.
Yeah, I think we had just an amazing set of games in these finals, and one thing that was consistent was Chip. Whenever he was going for a base race, you would see him get these extra mills. And you're saying that caught even you off guard? Where you think, okay, we're going for this base, he's dead, I've won this game, and then the game keeps going.
Yeah, I think we both did that some. Like I kept grabbing, in that last game, I kept grabbing the mill in the middle, expecting him to just go for the straight out base race and for me to need that extra mill. So, yeah, there were a couple games where I was like, okay, he's dead. Oh, no, wait, he's got another base? That's interesting.
All right, well, so with that, congratulations again, Xeno. We will be adding you to the Hall of Fame very soon. And that's going to be the end of our broadcast today. Before we go out, I want to give a huge thanks to AV Ultima for running the stream in the background, spectating the games, making sure the production was running smooth. The observing was top-notch today. Huge thanks to you. And then, of course, my co-casters, Captain Fog, Valently, and in the chat we had ShoeFlyPie being amazing as always. And we will be back next week for the map draft tournament, which is going to be week 3 of our January campaign. It's going to be something a little bit different. We will be providing a series of predetermined map seeds that you will be able to play on rather than going for the random maps. So we will look forward to that. Info will be posted in the Discord soon enough, once we have it all figured out. And yeah, that's going to be it from us today. Have a great night. And
some great matches next week.
Let's hope next week is just as good as this. Peace.